and welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast, Absolutely Lower League, the show dedicated to everything from the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, the National League North and South, and because Markham won, the Bristol Street Motors Trophy this week.
It counts this week, okay?
We are just doing it for Jen. That is it.
Just for me.
I know a lot of people say they're not very bothered about this one, but because Markham won, we've got to cover it. We've got to. Jen wouldn't forgive me otherwise.
Yeah.
She'd fall out with me. But of course, I could not do it alone. And you're looking really happy, Kieran. I'm not used to seeing you smiling. How are you and how's your week been?
Oh, I'm fantastic. It's just been a sequence of events of good things have happened from the football to other things that I'll be able to hopefully talk about in the near future. But yeah, no sarcasm, no bullshit. Everything's good. It's all happy. Fantastic.
You know what, Kieran, though, even when you are happy, you do sound like you're sarcastically happy.
I do always that. I do notice that. Yeah.
Oh, all right, I am.
Well, it was really funny because when we were off air before, it was just me, Kieran, and Ben. Obviously, before Ant and Jen joined, everyone in the chat, if you are listening. And Kieran said the exact same thing to me and Ben. And I said, I don't know if you're being serious or if you're being sarcastic here.
Usually I'm just that miserable that you're like, can he actually be happy?
Yeah. It's like that smile. I'm like, is it forced? Is everything okay? Are your cheeks hurting?
I never smile, so actually this is unusual, guys. I'm in a lot of pain right now.
And of course, someone who is smiling because, as I said, Markham got a win. Jen, how are you and how's your week been?
Very, very good. It feels good right now. Come back to me next week when we play on Saturday, and if we don't win, then go back to normal. But other than that, I'm doing all right for now.
Good stuff. Anne, hello. How are you and how's your week been? And I've just got a question for you. Who is top of the championship?
Only side in the EFL with a 100% record. When's the last time you've ever been able to say that about us? Absolutely over the moon. Yeah, I'm good. Bar the football, everything else, I'm good. Thank you very much. Are you okay?
I'm really, really good, thank you. I feel like we're all smiling, but somebody who doesn't look like he's smiling much. Ben, how are you and how's your week been?
It's not been great, if I'm being totally honest with you. Unfortunately, I lost a work colleague this week, which was a bit difficult. And then, football-wise, it's been poor, and been a bit down this week, so this is always my best thing to cheer me up, coming on with my favourite gang and everything like that on the Thursday night. So hopefully everyone here can lighten the spirits up a little bit. So yeah, I always look forward to my Thursdays.
I've got a question for you as well. Who's your favourite out of this gang?
Oh.
We all know who it is. And it's not the people at the top.
Just point that side. There we are.
That's right. I got you, boy. I got you.
Cheers, bud. No good line, yeah.
And of course, it's not just all of us here. We do have a lot of people in the chat, and thank you so much, as always, for coming joining us. We have got Chris, he's put good evening, everyone. We've got Graham as well, who says good evening. Alex has put evening all. We have got Simon. Oh, I knew this was coming. I am so happy for him, but I knew this was coming. We have got Luke as well, bless him. He's put, all right, everyone. Guess who's top of the National League? Finger red number 1. I think that's an emoji, is it?
I think it's I'd imagine
so. Why did you put it that way?
I'm thinking it is anyway. We have got Chris as well. Good evening, Shah, lovely. Kieran lad, Jen, Ben lad, and Ant the happy man. Look at our nicknames. I love it. We have got, there's a lot of chat amongst people. Simon has put as well. Kieran's happy. Have I been transported to a different dimension? I think so. The world is going to end. I'm joking.
You'll wake up eventually. It's all right.
Johnny's put hi all. That sounded really north then, didn't I?
No.
We're good, thank you. Chris has put, oh damn, that sucks, Ben. Thoughts are with those affected by that.
Thank you, Chris.
Simon has put as well, Kieran's happy. Oh, it's and again,
Oh my God, you're repeating it. Oh my days, we are in a different dimension. What's going on?
Graham has put, wouldn't it be funny if when Ben and Ant reached out, their hands appeared in each other's box? I know. I think we are.
Box you're talking about.
See it?
Graham,
That's
to be honest.
They know a lot about being in each other's box, I suppose.
I
What happens in Manchester stays in Manchester, Kieran. That's all I'm saying.
You've outed them now, Kieran. We need secrets, podcast secrets. That. But of course, we do have to talk football. And as you all may have noticed, recently we have been mixing it up. We've been doing it differently each league. So it's fair on everyone. And I think it's only fair for Anne to talk about Sunderland. So I will let you go first.
Aye. Yeah, I mean, you stole me thunder before with the question, but we'll ask it again. Who's top of the championship, anyone?
Who's top of the championship?
Who's
Does anyone know?
Who's top? Who's the only team with a 100% record?
I mean, should we have a quick look?
It's Sunderland. Is it? Look at that.
It's Sunderland.
Unreal. Oh no, just put that on again. Keep that on for the whole podcast.
Yeah, just that one. Just we'll leave it for a few more seconds.
Actually, can we leave that one as well? I love who's in 24th. That's brilliant stuff. Incredible content.
Yeah, unreal. Yeah, obviously Saturday was Portsmouth away, which we've always struggled down at Portsmouth. I can remember being in League One and them beating us on a swamp. When the game probably should have got called off, and then they beat us one point where they were singing 3-1 on your big D out and all that, and they beat us in that. We've mentioned the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, but they beat us in the Checker Trade Trophy. You're right, Keith, by the way. He's a Sunderland fan. I've had bad experiences against Portsmouth, and to go down there, and I mean they'd had a decent start. They'd drawn 3 games, but the draw had been like Luton, Leeds, and Borough. So they hadn't drawn against dummies, you know what I mean? They've been playing some good sides. And as per, we've just obliterated them, just 3-0 up. Absolutely unreal. I mean, the first goal, I don't know if you have seen it, but absolutely comical own goal where our lad might end it as a shot. The keeper saves it, and then they go to clear it, and one lad clears it off someone else, and it deflects in.
I have seen that one. It's
yeah.
a bit mental, isn't it?
I mean, that probably wasn't the funniest own goal of the game, which is weird because I think we kind of beat it. But, and then we get a second one just after half time with well, it got given as Meyenda's goal, but Alan Brown's kind of nicked it on the line, which is fair enough because I think the defender was coming across to try and cover it. So, I would have probably done that, to be fair, try to steal the goal, to be honest. And then Romain Mundle goes and makes it 3-1 with a hell of a goal, to be fair. I mean, if the ball's won in the middle of midfield, Chris Riggs just hammered into somebody on a yellow card as well, just smashed into somebody, 50-50, great tackle. And then we just break away, which is what we've got now. We've got players with pace, players with power. Romain Mundle puts it in. Jack Clark's gone. Romain Mundle's come in and scored twice and looked unbelievable. Just unbelievable. All through the pitch at the minute, we just look class. We look as if we've got a lot of legs. Obviously, we've had injury with our GLEC getting hurt. He's out for like 3 months, but we've got Dan Ballard who's come in and just slotted straight in. And then we've signed Chris Mepham from Bournemouth, which I think is a really, really good signing for the Championship. He's been promoted. I think he's been promoted twice. He definitely went up with Bournemouth, but I think he may have gone up with Brentford as well. So that's just a cracking sign. And we've signed a lad from France called Samed, who's an Ivory Coast international. No, sorry, a Ghana international who played in the Champions League last season, played 6 games. So he's obviously no mug. We've signed a lad from Serbia. I cannot pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. And he's been called up to Serbia for he signed for us on his 19th birthday and got called up for Serbia on the day after. But apparently, everyone that I've been speaking to, who covers them leagues and stuff, is saying he's he's like unreal, like the Serbian Messi apparently. So I'm really looking forward to seeing
Oh.
him play. And yeah, it's just a really, really good, feel good. I'm sure Keith, who was in the chat, will agree with us. It's just a really good, feel good feeling around the club at the minute. And as I mentioned, the last couple of weeks, they've got it right with the kits. They've got everything right off the pitch. And now at the minute, they're getting it right on the pitch. It may not continue. It probably, we're not going to win every game. Of course we're not. But, it might come to a point where we do get unstuck a little bit. But, people like try to say, well, don't get ahead of yourself. It's 4 games in. I am going to get ahead of myself considering the 6 month that we had, from January to May last year when we won twice in the calendar year. I am getting well ahead of myself here. I'm saying we've now set a target that everyone else in that league's got to catch. And we are looking a very, very good team. We may not go up this year. We may not even make the playoffs or whatever. But the seeds have been sown for what is going to be a very, very good football team. And the players, the average age is 21. They're just blowing it out the park. I'm so, so proud of them, and I'm so proud of supporting this football club. And the last is starting Sunday, so let's hope they can get started as well. I'm going to watch them against Birmingham. So, it's just a great time to be a Sunderland fan, Shah. And as I mentioned to you so many times, you've seen me at a miserable sod for 6 months. And yeah, I'm just over the moon. I'm just so chuffed for them, mate. I'm really, really chuffed.
The only good thing I can take from that, Ant, is even though you were really miserable, you still weren't as miserable as Kieran.
I was still here, though, wasn't I? Was still
Exactly.
Just as well, got to mention as well our own goal. Luke O'Neill, bless him. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he came on like social medias afterwards, like quote tweeted the Portsmouth media saying, obviously, Portsmouth score. He put correction, Luke O'Neill scored. So, it is what it is. It was a calamitous own goal. It's the first goal we've conceded all season. But, for the lads to get behind him and get up and back at it, and we've got a week off this week. And I think that's come at the right time for us, even though, you want to keep the momentum going. But it gives these young lads more time to rest the legs a little bit. So we go into what will be a difficult period, starting with Plymouth away, which isn't an easy game. Doesn't matter where they are in the league, doesn't matter who their manager is. Going to Plymouth is not easy. And then we've got Derby, Leeds, Watford. We've got some difficult games. We've got Borough in the cup. Borough in the league as well, and that's a local derby. So September's a massive month for us. But if we're still here this time in September, I'll be over the moon. And looking at the table, we're already 5 points clear of the team that's trying to catch us in the playoffs. So it needs us really in September to have a really big fall for us to fall out the top 6. So I'll do me. I'm sorry, it cost you 170 quid, like you should have cashed out.
I was just reading this as well, bless him, what Graham's put. What a really nice comment. It's for you, Anne.
Yeah, like I said before, I think I said last week with Graham, the only 2 times I've ever cried at a football match has been against Charlton at Wembley when they beat us in the playoffs in '98 and 5 years ago. So yeah, thank you for that. But yeah, the whole fans are chuffed, and long may it continue. We'll see what happens. And Regis the Brave just needs a massive, massive pat on the back for what he's done to this team at the minute. And he's obviously getting them when they're getting things right. He's keeping them at a level head, and they're focusing on what they're getting wrong in games and trying to put that right, which is great. So, like I say, we'll see where we are this time next month. But I'm over that. I'm really, really chuffed, to be fair.
Just going to the other fixtures now, I'm going to ask you quickly as well, and apart from your game, is there any others that do stand out to you on here? Any particular one?
I think looking at, I'm chuffed to bits for Oxford because they found it hard as well. But you've got to look at West Brom because not many people give West Brom that much of a hope this year because they haven't been able to sign that many players. And they obviously lost Brandon Thomas-Asante, who went to Coventry and stuff. But they've started really, really well. I think they're second in the table now. So it's for, it's 2 teams that are first and second to. No one, I think, would have said that. So, we're the 2 to catch, and fair play to West Brom because I like Carlos Colbrand as manager. I think he's an excellent manager. I think he's a Premier League manager, to be honest. And it's good to see them doing well, to be fair. But yeah, and chuffed as well for Oxford. I've got to be honest.
Ben, any for you that stand out?
I was going to say the Oxford United one. I mean, they've obviously, look, we've said before that they need to get as many points as they can in the opening weeks of the season to give them the best chance of surviving. And I'd say the home form is going to be key for them. So yeah, 3-1 wins, perfect way to keep, put them in the positive goal difference as well. That's the thing. If they can keep that up, before they come up against some of the good sides, then they might get battered for 4 or 5. But yeah, it's showing that they can compete. And then, I think, to be fair, Norwich against Coventry as well. I think Norwich getting their first win this season is exactly what they've needed. They've had, I think a lot of us have said that we probably didn't expect them to be where they have been in the opening weeks of the season. And they've needed that. And, going to Coventry is can be quite an intimidating atmosphere for any side. They do make it very difficult. So for to get a clean sheet and important 3 points might just get them going now. Might just be in a very slow start. So for the Norwich fans watching or ones that follow them every week, they'll be hoping now that they can start building a little bit of a run together and get back in within those playoff areas, because that's always been their aim, really. It's always been to be in and around sort of the playoff area. So yeah, that's probably my standout one of the weekend.
Just before I ask you, Kieran, I just wanted to mention to anybody new in the chat, if you do support a team in the EFL or the National League, and if you did go to a game, then please let us know. Send in a match report or your thoughts on the game, and we will read it out when we do get to that. But Kieran, any standouts for you?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go for Luton losing 2-1 at home to QPR. Like Ben said, with Norwich's slow start of the season, it seems that Luton's one is starting to drag out a little bit longer than I'm sure they'd hope for, given the position they were in this time last year. But I think the credit has to go to QPR as well. I've seen quite a few people put them down towards the bottom end of the table, and to go to a ground that it was in the Premier League last season and play a team where you look at it again on paper, it's an incredible team and really shouldn't be where it is at the minute. To go there and get 3 points is incredibly impressive, and you're going to want to have that little bit of momentum at the start of the season to make sure that you're stable throughout it. But no, it's bizarre to see that how poorly Luton actually have started, because I understand that they lost a few players from that team that was in the Premier League last season, but the kind of signings they made were really, really good for this level in my eye. Yeah. They signed, Baptiste from Brentford, for example. I think he's a quality midfielder, one of the ones that is too good for the Championship, not quite enough for the Premier League. But one of those players that if there was a division in between, he'd be perfect for it. But no, it's bizarre to see how slowly they've started, and I don't know how much whether Luton fans will necessarily turn on Rob Edwards given what he's done at the club, but you got to think, they dare. You got to think.
I'll protect him at all costs.
The picketing signs out now. But no, if they don't actually get their act together, how long is it before that kind of pressure potentially caves in on them? That's the
don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not directly going to say it, but you know what I'm implying.
I do know what you're implying. That's why I'm telling you not to say it, or it'll be a very, very miserable Charlotte.
Maybe he'll go to Rochdale. Join the coaching staff.
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't need him because we've got Big Jim.
Yeah, but get him in the coaching staff.
I'd take that, to be fair. I
wouldn't get him on the podcast.
Oh, I feel sad now, Kieran. You've upset me. I'm joking.
I've always got that natural sad energy somewhere. My bad.
I know. It's like, oh yeah, I'm really happy today, but I'm going to make Charlotte miserable. Jen, any standouts for you? Obviously not mentioning the Luton game.
No, we don't talk about Luton.
We don't talk about Luton.
I would have said Burnley and Blackpool. I think that's a good point for Burnley. I think they definitely needed it. They were struggling at the beginning of the season. They seem to be slowly getting back into it now. And hopefully they'll be able to pick up a few more points as well, because we've all said Burnley and Luton were going to be up there at the start of the season, and they're both really struggling at the minute. So I want them to do well. I'd like them to do well. So we hope that they're able to grab a few more points and get up that table a bit.
I think Mr. Luke's mentioned the Blackburn goal from Andy
Yeah.
Wyman, who's got to be about 77.
I know.
mean, it's an absolute beauty, isn't it?
Yeah.
He gets them, doesn't he? He misses sitters, but he scores these like out of world goals. I mean, that was a stunner, like, to be fair.
Is it better than the Oxford United goal the other week?
Nah, nothing beats that. It was up there, though, wasn't it? It was probably just
Very
as
close.
good, but yeah, it was a great finish, to be fair.
I love Simon as well saying this. If Robbins was to leave us, then I'd happily take Rob Edwards at Cov. I think we'd all take Rob Edwards, to be fair.
I'll take him.
I'll take him. Just not with Jim McNulty, though. We'll leave Jim McNulty in charge, and then Rob Edwards, as Kieran said, can join the backroom staff, because
It's probably worth
Love
the
Big Jim.
chat, though, about Luton at some point, because I mean, I
Yeah.
think they will turn it around, but at some point, it probably is worth. When you see teams coming down from the Championship, I mean, obviously this year is I can't remember who it is now, but who was it again? Burnley, the likes of Burnley,
Yeah.
Sheffield United, and stuff, and even Leeds from the season before. That there's that much pressure on them to go up. I don't think that pressure is so much on Luton because of what they did a couple of years ago when they did go up, and I think they've kept a lot of the money what they got in the Premier League, and
Yeah.
they've got the parachute payments and stuff. That when they moved, because they're moving stadiums at the end of this season, I think, and that maybe that this season's going to be one where they're just taking on the chin, and obviously, they're not going to get relegated. They're too good for that. But say if they finish mid-table, top half or whatever, and then make a really good go of it next season, I don't think the pressure of them to get back is that great to what it is on teams that have come down previously, to be honest. They've done it properly, haven't they?
Yeah, this comment just threw me off a little bit. Sorry, Anne. It's what Sean's for. I don't know what to say.
No comment. No comment.
We'll leave that one there. Don't really know what to say to that one.
There's Rob Edwards ever coming on this podcast blowing out the water.
I know.
Yeah, there goes any chance.
I know. We do have Johnny obviously in the chat, and he's a Sheffield United fan. So Sheffield United 1, Watford 0. He has put, have to say we played well with our match. We actually played well, but I feel sorry for Watford. It was never a penalty for us.
No, it wasn't a penalty at all. But to be fair, I think Sheffield United did deserve 3 points. I don't think Watford have been good this year, but I don't know with Watford. There might be one of them ones where they beat some good sides, but then also get beat off the teams that should be beaten. But I mean, I was quite happy with that result because it made us the only team in the league who was have a 100% record. So I actually wanted Sheffield United to win, but they'll be up there. The both teams I think will be up there this season, to be fair. But yeah, it was never on this world penalty.
Yeah.
But it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And the other Sheffield team, I mean, we all were raving, weren't we, on our preview show about Sheffield Wednesday and saying what they could do. But Graham's right, like, how bad is Sheffield Wednesday? That's a weekly question. And Lucas said as well how disappointed he is by Sheffield Wednesday. Is anybody else? Because I am.
Yeah.
I expected a bit more from him.
Yeah, I mean, when we played them, I thought they were poor. So I don't know if maybe, whatever's happened last year's, because it was a monumental effort by Danny Roll to do that. But he still needs the backing, and he still needs the backing of the owner. And I'm not sure that he's got that in the summer. I mean, like we signed Ian Paveda from Leeds, who was on loan at Sheffield last year. It was a big kind of catalyst in what turned it around. Obviously, him and Ugbo, they got Ugbo back, but they didn't get Paveda. And get in San Marino. Go on.
This is what I was about to say. Chris missed the big result. San Marino are currently winning a game of football.
San Marino always reminds me of that Where's Claire feature, and she scored for San Marino.
That's
Just
right.
Claire there.
They are 36 minutes away from winning for the first time in 20, 30 years. Their second ever competitive game.
The last time they won was against Liechtenstein as well. The only game they've
Oh,
ever
was it
won.
against Leeds now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I might be the only one old enough to remember this, but it's the only time. Well, not sorry, the only time. The first time I ever heard my dad swear was around about 92, 93, and England needed to beat San Marino like 8 or 9-0 or something, and Holland lost, and we conceded after about 9 seconds, and all I can remember is, oh fuck! I heard him swear. I was only about 6 or something. Just always like kind of every time I see San Marino score, I always get me dad me back and go, fuck.
I love it. Simon has mentioned as well, because they have got a track record. She's put, I'm surprised to. Not she, sorry, Simon, I'm calling you a she. Hey, but I'm surprised I'm cleverly still. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight.
26 minutes in.
I'm surprised Tom Cleverly's still at Watford, considering what they're like managers. Sorry, Simon. I do apologise. I think it's San Marino scoring. I'm all excited.
If they bloody draw this game now, I'm going to be livid. I'm just gonna say I would be fuming.
Oh no. Is there any other results that stand out to anyone? I mean, Derby again, winning 3-0 against Bristol City. That's a really good win for them, isn't it? They're doing all right, aren't they?
Good at home. Good at home.
It's in the funny side of it, thank God. I'm so sorry.
I mean, the only one that I think is a surprise, because I don't think there's many surprises in there, to be honest. Looking at that, you would probably think, maybe obviously QPR beating Luton, but Coventry, and I know Simon's in the chat and everything like that, but they were like tipped by a lot of players, by a lot of people to go up, and they haven't started well at all, have they? So, you know, and I know Coventry start badly every season and end up coming. I just hope, I said this last year, I hope they stick with Mark Robbins, because I really like Mark Robbins as a manager. And their side's too good to probably be floundering in like, you know, mid-table to bottom half. So they will come good as well. You know, we have got to remember, we are 4 games in. I mean, I mentioned, obviously, it was top of the league this Saturday. I'm taking that in complete jest. That is a hell of a fucking long season. But, you know, you've still got to start well. You can't win the league in August. We can sure as I'll lose it. So you've still got to start well, and you've got to have that balance, you know what I mean? There we are.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, I'm still got the giggles.
I've just seen Charlotte as well. Dietrich's in the chat, and I think Dietrich
she
needs to quit her job immediately and become a football scout, because she told me about Romain Mundell in pre-season, said he's going to be a wonderful footballer, and he scored twice in 2 games. So there we are. You heard it here first. Dietrich, the football scout.
Come on, Dietrich. Come and work for Dale as well. Any other results that anyone wants to mention before we do move on? Pretty much, like you said, pretty much expected, aren't they, Ant?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think the season quite early on's working its way out, as in Leeds have got more points this season than what they have last season, and they finished 3rd. You know, they've started well. Sheffield United, I know they've got a little bit of a points deduction, but they've started well. Burnley, up until we beat them, had started well. But as Jen mentioned before, you know, they've lost 1 and drawn 1. So that was a big point for them.
Yeah.
But I think the teams you've expected to do well are sort of doing well, but as I said before, maybe Coventry, and we've probably been the surprise of August with winning 4 games. But you know, like I said before, you've still got to start well, and it's good to see that 100%. The teams that have come up as well, the likes of Derby, Oxford, who got a win as well, have acclimatized well to the Championship. And you see in teams like Cardiff and Stoke, and then and Plymouth as well, who are still struggling from last year. So it's see what happens.
Dietrich said that she's happy as well. She put, love that Anne, would love to be a football scout, mate.
Well, if you need a reference, oh,
we'll all give you one, Dietrich. And just one more question I have got for you, Anne. Who is top of the Championship?
Look at that. Remember that print screen? There we go.
Screenshot. That's never going anywhere.
Sure. But as I've said before, you know, it is massive, massive early days. But the fact that we're 5 points clear of Borough, who are in 7th, it needs to fall off in September for me to be coming on this time next month saying we're on the top 6. So, it's little bite-sized chunks before games in, get to see 8, 10, see where we are then, and then you can start looking at, can we actually do this? And as I said, as I mentioned before, we've brought in some really good players. I think we had a really good deadline day, and the fact we've only lost Jack Clark out of that side, and it looks as if we've replaced him very well in Mundo. I think just shows there that this is a good team. So we'll see. Oh, look at that, man. I'm chuffed a bit.
So, the top of the championship table, we do have Sunderland on 12 points, 100% record. In second, we have West Brom on 10 points. Watford are third on 9 points. Leeds United are fourth on 8 points. Blackburn Rovers are fifth on 8 points. And Burnley are sixth on 7 points. And then in the relegation zone, in 22nd, we have Plymouth Argyle on 2 points. We have, I don't want to say it, in 23rd, we have Luton Town on 1 point. But we will turn it around. I have faith in Rob Edwards. Trust the process. And then rock bottom of the championship. Do you want to say it, Kieran? Who's rock bottom?
Cardiff City, yeah!
Oh, 1 point. I think it's a little bit chuffed with that one. Oh, and Luke's put Sunderland top of the league. Dad isn't impressed as he's a Newcastle fan.
Well, it sucks to be Luke's dad, doesn't it? North East team's smashing in a minute, though, aren't we? Gateshead top of the National League, us top of the Championship. North East teams, representing at the minute. Pity Newcastle, fourth or whatever they are in some league somewhere.
Graham makes a good point as well. Sheffield Wednesday on -5 goal difference after winning the first game 4-0.
Yeah, and you look at Cardiff as well, though, and Graham makes a really good point, like the one above. Goal difference already looks to be important. You look at them, -9 after 4 games. That's brutal, isn't it? Like, really brutal. I mean, we're on +9. And that's because we've only conceded 1 goal, and that's difficult when you're down there because the wins don't come. Yeah. They don't come like that often, do they? And you need to be starting to, beating teams 2 or 3-0 just to get that back to 0. So they're going to struggle big time, Cardiff, I think. I really do.
Simon has put as well, before we do move on, Mark Robbins rumoured to be wanting to sign Matty James, but apparently our owner won't authorise it because it doesn't fit into our transfer model.
Yeah, just who we were linked with this week. Naby Keita.
Really?
Yeah, Naby Keita. Apparently we had talks with him, but he went and signed for something, I don't know, somewhere else. And I remember, I'll put it on my Twitter.
No way.
It kind of showed just how far we've come in a short space of time, where I was looking thinking, well, where the hell would he get in? Sometimes he won't get a game. Naby Keita.
He'd fit in on the injury, Brent.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that.
I just wanted to pre-warn Mr. Luke as well. You're saying about Gateshead being top and how excited you are to see it, but maybe I've done like what we do to PSG and cut them off. Who knows? Maybe I'll cut the top 3 off. Who knows? And we will see. So we have got League One. I know, Sean, if you do want to send in your match report, or Graham, I know we've got you, or any other League One fans, please do. I'm gonna come to you first, Ben. Any standouts for you on this slide?
I think probably the game of the weekend, probably the one that everyone will look at on paper being quite a tasty one, probably be Peterborough Wrexham. Wrexham getting an important 2-0 win to keep them in the top 2 of the League One. Again, what a tremendous start they've had. It's not an easy one against a side that are always going to be up there and they're always going to be challenging for automatic promotion every year. So that's the thing. They really are sort of setting the standard, and that's a big statement result for them. I think if they are to, really be serious about being, promotion contenders again, then this is the sort of result that they need to be picking up. So that's a fantastic result. And I think, to be fair credit to Shrewsbury as well. I mean, against Leyton Orient 3-0. Shrewsbury, obviously, both of them before the start of the game hadn't got any points on the board. Something needed to give, and Shrewsbury coming out, massively on top. Clearly, Leyton Orient, it's a bit of a concern start for them. They've always been sort of up there, sort of mid-table. Been quite comfortable in League One ever since they returned there after promotion. But that's a big bit of a concern for them if they're losing games like that 3-0 away from home against sides that have really struggled like themselves. And as I always say, I think it's always got a case of when you get your first win under your belts, that takes a little bit of the pressure off the teams and everything. And for Shrewsbury now, I feel like a little bit of a weight would have been lifted off them now, going into the coming weeks. But for Leyton Orient, on the other hand, now more pressure is going to be put on them now the longer it goes on, and they've got to start picking up results, particularly at home, because it could become a hostile atmosphere at Brisbane Road soon. Yeah. So they've got a bit of work to do down there.
Completely agree with that one. Who do I come to next? Just before I decide, Sean has put, obviously, is a Northampton fan. It's fine. We don't talk about 0-0s. Fair enough. Fair enough. Simon has put as well, a good result for Reading. Jen, I'm going to come to you next. Have you got any standouts on here or any you want to talk about?
Yeah, I was just going to mention Reading as well, obviously, because they're in the same situation as we are right now, trying to sell the club. So I think it's a good result for Reading to get them points on the board and try and get out of the relegation zone, try and not be anywhere near that, because I'd hate to see them relegated, especially with everything going on behind the scenes. They deserve to be winning games, and the fans are incredible behind them as well. So I think it's definitely a really, really good result for Reading. But then Bolton as well, like I said last week, they just seem to be nowhere at the minute.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with them. I expected them to be up there in the playoffs, and it seems like they're really, really struggling this season. So I don't know what's going on in Bolton, but they need to fix it soon, or else they're going to be nowhere near the playoffs.
I completely agree. And did anyone see this as well, what Sean mentioned?
Yes,
about the Bolton player?
Yeah.
That's been a pretty relieving sneeze, though, before the severe amount of pain.
It felt good.
I know. I suffer with hay fever, so I have his back, because the amount of times I've sneezed today, don't get me wrong, my back's all right at the minute.
You reckon he sneezed and recoiled back and hit his back against something? Or I don't understand how you injured your back by sneezing.
I once did me back laughing. So that honestly ain't a funny matter. When you tip your back and you find something really, really funny, I had a proper bad back for about a week afterwards. So I mean, I do feel you've got to feel for the blow, right? Because no worse than a bad back.
Imagine why is he injured? And the reason is due to sneeze.
Yeah, don't get down football manager, do they?
He just says, "You're right, mate. What seems to be the problem?" He goes, "Oh yeah, got hay fever, had a sneeze, mate. Out for a few weeks now, unlucky."
Do you know what? I might use that one. Oh, sorry, I can't come into work today. I had a bad sneeze.
Yeah,
I had a bad sneeze. My back. Sorry.
Yeah. And I will come to you. Any standouts on here?
Got a prop ready because it's the first win of the season. Hey, the mighty Blues!
Yay!
And then we'll throw that away because my not so much the result of the week, but bizarre appointment of the week update. The Blackpool 2, Wickham 2, and then Blackpool, seeing that draw, decided that they thought they would go out and get Steve Bruce as their new manager.
Mental,
which
isn't it?
I think's mad. I mean, I could do one of Ant's rants about how bad of a manager Steve Bruce actually is. Even though he got us into 10th in the Premier League, we had a squad who should have been top 4. And I'm not over exaggerating that at all. We had some bloody good footballers. And he just seems to find a way of getting these jobs, doesn't he? That's going to end badly. But good luck, Blackpool fans. I really feel sorry for Elliot Embleton, who we just sold to Blackpool. Who I really, really like Elliot Embleton as a player and as a person. I know his dad really well. And I just feel really sorry for him because that's going to be horrid. But if you want to the game that really stood out for me as well was Jen's mentioned Bolton, but Barnsley beating Crawley 3-0. I think that's a really, really good result for Barnsley, and it's kind of showing that they're going to be there or thereabouts, isn't it? Going. I think Crawley had started well under this season, and that's a really, really good win for them.
You have to say it like me, Anne. You said it wrong.
Barnsley.
Thank you.
There we go.
I
sorry.
understand, I didn't know what you were talking about.
We have to say Bolton as well. Then.
Yeah.
Bolton.
Russ has put Steve Bruce is the last standing of Allardyce Hughes Pulis merry-go-round. I don't think anybody is impressed with the Steve Bruce appointment. I think there was only really Danny in our group chat, weren't you? Who was like, "Oh, I think this will be quite a good appointment." I think everyone else is a bit like,
Yeah, it's just football's moved on, hasn't it? Like, and Russ has made a good point now with like the Allardyce, Hughes, Pulis stuff. And I'm a massive fan of Sam Allardyce. I love Sam Allardyce, but the stuff that he does and the stuff like your Pulises and your Hughes and your Bruces do, that the game has evolved from that style of football. 100%. I think so. I just don't see how it's going to work. If I was like Blackburn, I'd be looking at maybe a young manager from League Two who's doing well or something along those lines, not someone who's barely worked. In the last few years, and whenever he has worked, he's done a really shocking job, hasn't he? Like, he was. Which championship team was he at recently? Was it West Brom?
West Brom,
and he was awful there. He was at Newcastle before. He was awful there. He did, like I've mentioned before at us. He was terrible. Got to be honest. And yeah, it's. I just can't see it. I just can't see it working well. To be fair.
Last but not least as well, Kieran, any standouts for you?
Yeah, I'll go for the Rotherham game, beating Huddersfield. Obviously, Rotherham have started off relatively slow under Steve Evans. I can make a joke there, but I'm not going to. But yeah, they started off really slow, and this is one that I caught very much. I caught a little bit of an eye on, and to be fair, I thought Rotherham deserved the result against this Huddersfield team that have honestly gone under the radar. They won their opening three, and nobody really noticed that, acknowledged them because of how well Birmingham have done so far, or even Wrexham and Stockport. To get those opening 3 points within the first 5 games of a new manager, especially with how many changes they had over the summer window, it's a positive thing that they can definitely build on. But we'll have to see how they get on, because it's not been the most impressive start for Rotherham so far, given what preseason predictions were.
Can we just quickly speak about, I know we were speaking about Birmingham, but what does everybody think about the Stansfield transfer and the price of it?
So we have that money.
That transfer's probably worth
for League One.
Crazy.
I saw this statistic the other day, is that that transfer has broken the League One transfer sum fee, and I think it was something along the lines of 6 times over. So it was 6 times higher than the previous highest ever spending on one player in League One. And let's be fair, I wouldn't be shocked if that previous highest spender was Birmingham as well.
It was.
Yeah.
They broke it 3 times this season. They broke it 3 times because it was us. We spent 4 million on Will Grigg, and then they spent 4 million for that song, which never got sung because he didn't fucking score for us.
Sorry.
All right. But yeah, I think they bought. I can't remember who else they bought. They bought the lad from Rangers on loan, but they're paying a hell of a loan fee for him.
Yeah, it was Ben Davis.
Yeah, there's definitely signed a couple where it did break the record. And
yeah, they broke your one over by, again, was it 6 times, 4 times, whatever? But it was stupid amounts of money for League One. At the end of the day, this is another thing that I saw. The amount they spent on Jay Stanfield was, 2-3 million lower than what Liverpool spent on Chiesa. Unreal.
Mental.
Yeah. I mean, like, for me, I can get why they wanted him, because obviously he did very well last year at Birmingham. I know they got relegated and all that, but he looked all right. but 15 million, and I just want to compare it kind of, with Jack Clark, who left Sunderland. And Jack, the deal is pretty much exactly the same, where it's 15 million up front, plus add-ons, plus a massive sell-on clause, plus this, that, and the other. Now, last season, Jack Clark from midfield scored more goals than Jay Stansfield. And Jack Clark's gone to a Premiership side in Ipswich. Jay Stansfield's dropped 2 divisions. He'll score goals for fun in that league, of course he will, and he probably will get them promoted, and they'll be going, well, what's the big problem? But for me, when you're looking at like sides in League One, and you're looking at the teams who are top, like the likes of Stockport and Charlton, who've done really, really well, they can't even dip their toes in the water compared to what Birmingham are doing. And for me, it sets the wrong precedent of what you're willing to do to get out of the league. Yes, it's a hard, very, very difficult league to get out of, but 15 million quid for him, and I don't think he's that good. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's worth 15 million. I think's ridiculous, to be honest. And I think what it'll do, and to be fair to them on Saturday, they only scraped through against Wigan because they scored in the 93rd, 94th minute. Teams are going to go there now and are going to be a lot. I mean, we mentioned it like a few weeks ago when we did the preview show that every side's going to go there and treat it like a cup final. Every single side now, plus everyone else in that division, are going to want Birmingham to fall off because of what they've done with that 100%. Signing. And it's going to up players' levels. It's going to up fans' levels when they go there, up that extra bit, knowing if you beat that, you beat a team who's got one player worth than pretty much everyone else's squads put together, to be honest. So it's madness. It's madness. What do they do next? What do they do if they don't go up? Birmingham? You know what I mean? It's mad.
I know. I'm just thinking to myself, though, if he's actually worth, because with add-ons and everything as well, is it come to about 20, just short of 20? If he's worth 18, that much, Devante Rodney must be worth at least 40 then.
But that, I mean, but you can see if in January I fully expect them to be top of the league by January, but if they're not, and they need to, buy somebody else, like whoever the go-to, we're going to put the Birmingham City tax on them now, aren't they? Because they're going to go, like, hang on, you spend 15 million for Stansfield, but we think our player's better than him. So you give us 16, 17. Like, where does it go? You know what I mean?
It'll be like the League One Chelsea. Honestly, they'll just keep spending and spending and spending. So there's massive amount of pressure on them, though. Now, if they're spending that kind of money, they have to go up.
Oh, 100%.
So they have to 100% go up.
There's literally no other outcome in my mind other than them going up. Them not going up, and it's so weird when you're talking Birmingham to a point where it's like, them actually not winning the league is probably a bad season. I don't even think cutting promotion would be successful for them. It's bizarre.
They won't win the league because I put them to win the league on my predictions, so they won't win it. Sorry, lads.
They lose it on goal difference.
I know. I had Luton to win the league.
Good start.
Not bad. Great start. Before we move on as well, obviously we do have Graham in the chat, and he has sent us a few comments. So he put, bad day at the office, always seems to be Reading away too. Never really got going, all round a disappointing day. Also, Gasson, is it
Ahadmeh,
thank you. Is currently stealing a living. Oh. Feisty one you are, Graham. He put, fun fact, Nathan Jones' first game was at Reading and we lost 2-0 with goals in the 66th and the 76th minute. Saturday, we lost 2-0 and the goals were scored in the 66th and the 76th minute.
That is, isn't it?
I know.
A great stat.
Right.
That's unreal.
Then he put, I hate these games because I know how these stories always end for us. And he also put, I think this was linked to this one, sorry. He's put, we've got Rotherham on Saturday at home. Jones and Captain Greg's live on Sky Sports Plus. We've not, that's made me giggle. We've not lost at home in ages. They've not won away since November. Oh.
See, you've said it now.
I see it now. I see why you said this.
Yeah.
Oh, Graham. Oh, Graham. Just going
1-0
back.
Steve Evans fist pumps incoming. It's happening.
Just going back as well before we do move on to a couple more comments. Lucas put, I'm getting so stressed about this San Marino game.
They're 11 minutes away. I've got it up on a separate screen.
Tony has put the Stansfield fee has been exaggerated. It's 12 million plus add-ons. I think he was signed by the owners, not the manager.
Oh, that's all
That is
right.
from a
Then it's just
Birmingham
12
fan.
million.
12 million, yeah, pocket change for League One, and bloody hell, like.
Oh,
There you go.
funny.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's the point there. And Gyökeres is by far a better striker than Stansfield.
Yeah.
So there we are. Yeah.
I've got some updates as well. It had to be McTominay as well. Had to be McTominay.
Napoli's own.
I know. And before we move on, the League One table. So she's not here, but top of the table, we do have Stockport County on 10 points. Wrexham are second on 10 points. Birmingham are third on 10 points. Lincoln are fourth on 9 points. Huddersfield are fifth on 9 points. Charlton Athletic are sixth on 9 points.
Hey.
I know. In the relegation zone, we have Shrewsbury aren't there anymore, Ant.
Come on.
We have in 21st Wigan Athletic on 3 points. Blackpool are 22nd on 2 points. Will Steve Bruce be able to save them? What does everyone think?
No.
Cambridge are 23rd on 1 point. And Leyton Orient are bottom of League One on 0 points.
Oh.
That's bizarre considering how convincingly they won League Two a couple of years back. That's mental. And how good they were last season as well.
I think Lincoln are going on over like everybody's radar, aren't they? Lincoln are like fourth in the table or something. And considering they had such a good run at the end of last year, no one really looked at them, did they? I think maybe only Rebecca out of us kind of tipped them to go up. So they're doing really well.
Really well. League Two now, though. Who wants to go first?
Played against each other, so I don't know. Start Jen.
Let's go
Jen,
there.
you want to start first?
I wasn't there, so you have to make
Good
me
excuse,
stop.
Jen.
I watched it
Good
on the
excuse.
lovely. I watched it on Sky Sports Plus. You know, everyone's favorite.
Ooh, check
know.
you.
We're top 4 Champions League. Here we come. That's how it works, right? No, yeah. To be fair, similarly to how I said it when we played Accrington last week, I thought we were actually again quite fortunate to sneak all 3 within the game. Don't get me wrong. I thought the opening 20 minutes we were absolute class. We probably could have got 2 or 3 within that, but. Watching the goal Aaron Wildig scored in the 8th or 9th minute, it was
literally had to be him as well.
Goalkeeping error. I think wasn't it near enough exactly the same as your fixture last week against Doncaster? Wasn't it similar?
Having issues at the minute.
Yeah,
Keepers get him into gear.
He's taken a touch that's a bit too hard on the ball, and it's kind of just fallen to Aaron Wildig, and he's drifted out wide and just tapped it into an empty net. I looked at it on Fortnite when it said that he scored from a major distance away, and I was like, oh my god, has he just scored a screamer? And then I got the catch up on it, and I was like, never mind. But yeah, other than those opening 20 minutes where, again, I thought we could have scored 2 or 3 if we were a little bit better with our kind of final third play. I thought we really could have scored 2 or 3 and wrapped it up there. But again, you got to give that kind of credit to Morecambe. I thought they were really unlucky, especially in that second half, to not score. Nick Townsend pulled off 2 or 3 brilliant saves in that second half to keep us with of course the 3 points and the clean sheet. But I think it was, again, Derek Adams talked about it, and albeit I was watching it with a smile on my face. He was mentioning about how Morecambe have been actually really unlucky to have nothing on the board and not to have scored yet, because their play isn't bad. They play some nice stuff. It's just about getting that finishing touch that they're just about missing, where I ended up messaging in the group chat. As much as I was happy that we won, of course I was. There was part of me that was hoping that that you get that moment. Thankfully, you got it in the fantastic Bristol Street Motors Trophy. But
Woo.
yeah, everyone's
Don't
favourite
spoil
competition.
it. Don't spoil
Oh, wait,
it.
you spoiled it at the beginning. You spoiled it
It's a
at the
big
beginning.
trophy, this one.
Oh, big
Everyone wants to win
trophy.
it.
I think, okay, off topic, I think Birmingham tweeted about wanting to win it, and then they ended up losing to Walsall, which was really funny.
God.
But yeah,
Joking,
I mean,
Birmingham fans, that was a joke. We're not even in it, so I can't say anything. Just came out. Word vomit.
I tell you what, it's the only trophy I've ever seen us win. And well, to be fair, I
Oh,
haven't seen us win.
someone has.
Yeah. And I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it properly because it was during sudden COVID.
You didn't win it,
oh,
Benan.
yeah, it didn't count, unfortunately. Yeah, nothing that happened in that season.
We got
counted, right?
relegated in COVID. That don't count.
There we are. Just undo it. But yeah, I mean, it's 9 points from our opening 4. We were unlucky to lose on the opening day, so it really could have been 10 from the opening 4. And I don't know what it is, but we've started off really well, and I'm going to do exactly what Ant's doing because of how miserable my January to me was. I'm getting ahead of myself. We've been incredible. We're in playoffs at the minute. We're going up. It's happening. You heard it here first, and I don't remember who commented it, but Kieran Evans is class on grass, potentially the best midfielder on the planet. Thank you.
On grass.
He is. And we're winning the league, thank you, under points. So you've seen all I need to.
Okay.
We will clip this at the end of the season.
Yeah, this is not me getting ahead of myself, guys. I'm just being very honest. Thank you.
Get in, Sam. Get in.
Go on, Sam.
Jack Draper's nothing on you, Sam, I'm telling you.
We do have Alex as well in the chat, and he's put Kieran. I'm emphasising the capitals. Kieran, we're top 4, tied on points with second.
Yes, I mean,
Gillingham
Gillingham are the team in first, and they're only a point ahead. So come on, we're gonna do it. Yes, that is depressingly accurate, actually, from Alex. Is that when we went 1-0 up with inside 9 minutes. Other than that 10-minute spell of us playing really well, we just sat back. Everyone was behind the ball. There were no runs being made. The fact that we didn't concede was honestly kind of a miracle. But we move. It's fine, and we're on to play Port Vale, and we're going to smash them 18-0. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Chris has put as well. Switzerland down to 9 men against Denmark.
Denver.
I've called Simon a woman tonight. I just can't speak. I'm so sorry if I offend anyone. Don't know what's happening to me. Do not know what's happening to me today.
Denver Bar got sent off for Denmark, guys.
Do you remember Denver Bar?
I do remember Denver
Who
Bar.
doesn't remember Denver Bar? Some player.
What a throwback.
Denver Bar. Steve Gerrard.
Jen, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I think Kieran said what it is. It's just we've got the players, we just cannot finish at the minute. And I think that's the issue that we've got. But I think if we keep working on it, again, there are a whole new set of lads. They're still gelling together, figuring out how everyone plays and works. So I think it's just sticking together, getting behind them, and the goals will come when they come. And I have full faith in the squad, in Derek Adams, in everyone, that we are going to get a win on Saturday. And it's going to be fine. And we're going to be
on Saturday, Jen?
Crew away.
Come on, Morecambe.
I think after Bristol Street Motors, I think the boys are going to be very much like, okay, we can do it now. Let's go and do it. Because I think the changes that he made for the Bristol Street, which we'll get on to, definitely made the difference within the team. And again, it's one of them. At the end of the day, we haven't won a game yet, but it's 1-0. They've all been 1-0. It's not like it's 5-0 or 6-0. It's literally just a couple of lucky goals here and there that the other team have got, and we just need to get ourselves on the end of the ball and in the back of the net, and we'll be just fine.
Just get Adam Lewis on the left side hitting crunching tackles and you'll be all right.
Yeah,
We're more than used to that. Just get him playing and he'll be sound.
It's all right. We've just signed a 6'7" tall football player, so I'm sure he can bash a few in.
Yeah, to be fair, we've signed a 6'9" striker. It's bizarre.
It's like you're trying to outdo her now, Kieran.
We've got a
We've just got a 7'2" one.
If you want a different one as well, we've got a 6'6" striker who's just got injured. So
Oh well, ours is 8'10".
well, I was 13 foot tall. Thank you.
Now you're chatting shit, mate.
Nah, we got the world's tallest man of all time playing up front. Crosses are actually going to go under him, no matter how high they go.
Anytime.
I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate when it's full time, and I'm hoping we're not talking about anything serious at that point.
This ref is serious.
Can you imagine if there's a floodlight failure now?
Needed.
Yeah. Get your candles out, everyone.
This made me really laugh. Graham has put, don't say that. Birmingham will sign a nice football player just to beat everyone else.
For 25 million as well, just to take the piss.
I will just go back really quickly. Aled has joined us. I think he said he's been playing badminton. So I will just give his match report. But if we do have any League One fans, not League One, League Two fans, I know we have Rebecca, I know we have Dietrich as well. Please send in your match reports. We'd like to know what your teams did and your thoughts on the game. But Aled has put, this is Wrexham, by the way. Just some feedback from my game away at Peterborough. We played very well. One of the best performances I have seen for a while. We were close to conceding early due to a deflection, but could have scored 4. How did Cian Hayes play if he did play? Please send me some updates on Cian Hayes, because last I heard he wasn't actually starting. It was coming off the bench. So I'd like to know.
Why am I generally shitting myself over a game that has absolutely nothing to do with me?
I know.
I've never wanted to see San Marino win more in my life. And this is that chance.
We'll go to the other fixtures as well in League Two. So I will come to you first, Ant. Any standouts for you on here, or any you want to talk about?
You
can say no if you like.
No.
I mean, I will say I watched a little bit of Salford on Monday night, and the lad who scored their goal, and again another one I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, is on loan from Everton. And I know Rebecca thinks quite highly of him, but he was a youth academy product at Sunderland and got sold when we asset stripped League One. So best of luck with him, but I just can't pronounce his name.
Is his first name Nelson by any chance?
Nelson, we'll call him that. Yeah, because he has that on the back of his top, doesn't he? It's But it was a great goal. Like, to be fair, lovely goal.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, he was on loan with us last season, and he was my favourite player.
He looks at hand, to be fair, Jen. Yeah, he does look at hand.
Fantastic last season, so I want him to do well though.
Yeah, it was a nice goal. Shall we? Just because we miss our Nick and we love our Nick, but I did tip Swindon to go down, and that's a bad result against Notts County. They are really struggling. Just hope that they can pull them out. I don't want them to go down. I remember Nick saying, a few things were off, like going wrong off the pitch, and they seem to be, kind of putting that. They seem to be, hitting that bad form on the pitch as well. So really, really disappointing for them. So we'll go with that one just for all the wrong reasons.
I feel like as well with Swindon, because they're struggling off the pitch as well, I think if it did come to them going down, I think they would really struggle to get back up, because it's such a hard league to get out of anyway. But I think they would really struggle. I don't want them to though, because I love Uncle Nick so much. Bless him. Ben, any standouts for you?
I would have said the Salford result as well. I mean, they hadn't won before the start of the night, so that's a big win, I'd say, against one of the apparent promotion contenders. So that's a stable win. It pains me to say it, but I would probably say Gilles' win over Chesterfield's I think it was a goal in the first half. I think it was. I won it for them.
Yeah.
They've kept up their fantastic start to the season. Hurts me to say that. But yeah,
so much you calling them Jills as well.
No, I think
those Jills.
I'm trying to remain professional if I can. But that's the thing. Against the promote side, the Chesterfield, they've adapted. That's the thing. They're taking points. In the league, they've had a steady start back into life in the football league. So 1-0 away from home against one of the real strong automatic promotion contenders isn't the worst result for them in the world. So yeah, that's probably the two ones. Like I say, I think it's mainly a standout. I do feel for Uncle Nick at the moment because, like I say, it's just seems to be bad news after bad news at the moment. I mean, Notts County, and I think everyone would have said, that they would probably, if they could stop leaking goals at the other end, and they have a chance of being in the playoffs this year. And so far, so good for them. They're in the top 7. I mean, albeit after 4 games, but getting a win on the road, even going to the county ground, even when it is tough for them at the moment, they are finding their way of winning games at the moment. Notts County, so yeah, fair play to them. They're a club I really want to see do well. They've always been, it was good to me every time I went out there with Maidstone. So I really want them to do well.
I think this is about Gillingham as well. Graham's put, we can hope they fall off like last season, Ben.
They will, Graham. Don't worry. We know that club will do well. I'll be the American line of Leeds. It's not back to America. By the way, last minute of the San Marino game. We're into the last minute.
Still 1-0. A minute to go. I'm shitting myself.
Northern Ireland have won 2-0. Goal for Dan Ballard. Yep, there.
Sean has said as well that his standout game is Donny winning away versus Vale in what looked like an exciting match.
Yeah.
Kieran, any standouts for you?
Yeah, actually, Grimsby's win over Bradford. That's the first time Grimsby have beaten Bradford in in the league in something like 20 years. It's been a very, very long time. Yeah, very, very long time. And they did it the week prior.
84 years.
It's been 84 years. They did it prior last week in the cup, but it wasn't in normal time.
Have they done it?
Yes! Yes!
Go on, the lads.
Get in there. They've done it.
20 years of play over.
Oh, can we switch the podcast from the absolute lower league to the absolute San Marino?
Yeah.
Yes, come on.
Declare Jeffs get the goal again.
Declare Jeffs, who was on the score sheet. Thank you.
Go on. That's why she's not here tonight, everyone. She's
that doesn't read Claire Jeffs, unfortunately, but I'm sure she played a big part in the win.
I reckon she's gone under a different name, so no one knows it's really her. She's got a coat on.
Nico Sensoli. Maybe that's her new name.
Yeah, I reckon it is, without it.
San Marino actually won it in the football. That's annoying. Go on, San Marino.
Everything's happening this season. Kieran's happy, Sunderland are top, and San Marino winning.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Well, you'll never see anything like this ever again. So breathe it, drink it in, because you probably will never see San Marino win ever again. But there we are. Get in.
And Kieran, the game that was literally decided by a goal.
Literally. Together, people. It's all coming together. This is incredible. Wow. Unreal.
Jen, is there any other standouts for you on here?
I'd probably say Bromley losing because they seem to be doing really well at the minute.
Yeah.
I think losing was probably a shock, but I don't think they need to worry about it. I think they're still... I was predicting them to go down, and now I feel really bad because now I think they're actually going to do really well. So. Sorry, Bromley fans, if there's any out there.
It's a long season, though. Anything could happen. We will just go to the League 2 table as well. So top of the table, we have Gillingham on 10 points. Second, we have Walsall on 9 points. Third, we have Barrow on 9 points. Fifth, I'm joking. Fourth, we have Newport with 9 points. Fifth, we have Doncaster Rovers with 9 points. Sixth, we have AFC Wimbledon with 9 points. Seventh, we have Notts County on 8 points. And then in the relegation zone, Uncle Nick and Jen, it will change though. It will change. And then Rebecca's just above him. Oh my gosh. So we have 23rd, Swindon Town on 2 points. And we have bottom of the League 2 table. I'm sorry, Jen, but it will change. I have Morecambe on 0 points.
It's all right, because when we win on Saturday, we'll get up to like 21st and it's all fine.
It'll be fun.
In the chat as well, obviously, we have Dietrich. She is our Bradford fan, and she has put, we played all right in the second half, and Ollie Sanderson scored. He's on loan with us from Fulham. I'm gutted we lost, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can bounce back at the weekend. I love that attitude from Dietrich. I love that attitude.
Mine last season was all we lost. On the next week when we lose again.
That's how I feel.
Everyone has their fingers crossed for you, Jen. Sam does as well. Graham has put as well, Bromley fans are Palace fans, so you never need to apologise to them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right, let's get to these graphics. So I will bring them up. But Jen, do you want to talk about your game first in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy?
Yeah.
What happened?
We scored 2 goals.
Yes. And did you
Not just
win?
1, but 2, and we won.
Yes.
Away. Like, we don't whistle it. I don't know what was going on. But no, it was actually a really good game to watch. We was watching it on Sky Sports Plus, you know, that new thing that we've all got. We were watching it on that, and I was fully expecting to lose that game. I don't know. I think I just got used to losing at this point. I'm just like, yeah, okay. But no, it was a really, really good game. It was a completely I think we had 8 changes in the squad or something like that. Lee Angle started, which I think we needed to swap him and Holt round and see what was going on. And I think Lee needs to start on Saturday because he was unbelievable on that pitch. He was here, there, and everywhere, and I think that's exactly what we needed. And he's a very tall man, so it's hard to keep him in one place. And I think we needed him to score, and we needed to win. I think the win was the biggest part about it because you could see after the game all the boys were so happy and they're like, okay, we've done it and we've won a game. Let's take this now into the season and start winning games there. Now, we all know we don't care about the Bristol Street Murphy and all that stuff, but for us to get a win, I think that's huge. And obviously we can all call it the pizza cup and everything like that, but you do get 20k from it. And for us, that could be huge in paying the players or getting new players in on loan or anything like that, because we've already got 2 injuries already. And it feels like they're going to keep stacking up because obviously we can't rotate as much because we don't have that many on the bench. We've had a few of our academy lads, which is amazing to see them there. It's incredible to see Adam there. Alfie was there a couple of weeks ago, but he's now injured. Adam is an incredible player for the academy and deserves to have a chance in the first team squad. So I'm hoping he's there or about at some games. Not all the time, obviously, because he wants to play for the academy, but I think it'll be nice to have him on the bench. But I think winning was so important in that game because we needed it to kickstart the season. And hopefully now, going into the actual season, we can win on Saturday and then it'll feel a whole lot better.
A massive confidence boost as well, because I know we all always say, obviously, I know I used to say it as well when we were in the league. Now I'm pretty jealous because I'd love to be back in the league. But I was like, it's only that cup, but it's still a game and it's still a run out for players and it's still a massive confidence boost when you're scoring and when you are obviously winning games. So I'm so happy.
Yeah, I know. It was so nice because it was... We didn't expect to win. I don't think any of the fans expected to go there and win that game at all. But I think they needed it. And it just shows that if they work hard and they keep doing the training on the pitch, and it's going to pay off at some point. And it did. And we got very lucky with the second goal because their player messed up. And luckily, Lee was in the right place at the right time and put it in the back of the net. And that usually doesn't happen for us. It's the other way around. So it was nice that it actually happened to us this time.
Love that. Love that. Makes me so happy. Who did you say as well, before we move on, who did you say that you have at the weekend? Sorry.
Crew Alexandra away.
You confident?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
after this win, I think a lot more fans are a lot more confident. And
Love that.
if we can keep the team pretty much similar to what we had, obviously some of the academy lads won't be there because they'll be playing their own games. But I think if we keep it pretty similar, I think we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, you don't want to lose to a team named after a haircut, do you?
No. No thanks.
Oh, Graham has just put this as well. Scotland lost 3-2 to a 97th minute penalty.
Oh no! What are we gonna do?
Halfly.
Oh no! I'm gutted for him.
Kieran, did you play in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy?
We did, yeah. We played Cheltenham. Ironically, the only team we've lost to in kind of competitive competitions this season, or in the league rather, and we lost again. Yay!
Woo!
No, I'm not fussed. It gave us a chance to play new players. Kieran Evans being one of them. Moani being another.
I couldn't say
Jamie Miley. Moana, yeah. Jamie Miley being another one, which is still a really bizarre one to see playing for Newport, but you know, it is what it is. We actually played really well in the first half. So you know, there were pleasing signs, especially in that midfield. It looked very energetic and actually very positive, which is something off the past few seasons we've kind of lacked, is that energy in the middle of the park, and we looked like we had it. But 43rd minute, and this was kind of the thing where we all knew we were going to lose at this point. But again, Bristol Street Motors Trophy, who cares? Anthony Glenn
and does, they've won it.
Yeah, and yeah, good point.
And Simon.
But it was in lockdown and never happened. So, you know, there we are, unfortunately.
Me and Ben don't. Our teams are massive compared to that. I would. We've got this, Ben.
So, 43rd minute, Jacob Kearney, who's playing his second game for us, he had an absolute howler against Leighton in the Carabao Cup or the EFL Cup, whatever bloody hell you want to call it. And then Anthony Glennon, he's tried to head the ball back to Jacob Kearney, but to be fair, it's not got enough power on it. The direction on it's not quite on. Jacob Kearney's come out for the ball. He's taken out last man, and he's been sent off for him. So we've had to play the second half of 10 men. Nick Townsend obviously coming in for the second half. Joe Caldwell scored again, and we lost. So, you know, apparently it did look like that, you know, that red card, we were almost destined to lose from it because we lost. I'm
sorry, that made me laugh.
We ended up losing. I think it was Ollie Greaves. Who was changed for Nick Townsend, and that kind of killed off the positive spark in midfield. But yeah, 2-1 loss. To be honest with you, the quicker we can get out of this competition, the better. I'd rather focus on the league. But again, it's
so
nice to see.
Now you're fourth. You're so entitled.
Wow.
Incredibly, again, very far ahead myself in preparation for when it all comes crumbling down in a month or two's time. Allow me to enjoy this bit. But it was nice to see rotated players. But it is what it is. Joe White, okay, I guess he's fine. No bother. He's sounding. Let's be fair. No, he's good. Yeah, I gotta give him the credit. He's sound. Don't mention Smurfs again. I'm getting wait a second. Do I have any context? Oh yeah, and that 6'9" striker played and did nothing. Yeah. Apparently he sounded really lethargic and like didn't chase the ball, which is a good start.
6'9".
His name's Kyle Hudlin. He used to play for not phone spell. He used to play for he used to play for Solihull back when they were in the National League and whatever. And like we signed him, and I was like, oh, brilliant, you know, having a kind of player like this, he fits League Two perfectly. And then we had every single comment saying he's crap, he's 6'9" and can't jump. I'd rather a 5'9" player who can actually jump. So we'll see how it goes. He doesn't need to jump. That was the thing I was looking at. I was like, he's 6'9". I don't think you really need to jump. Just getting the power to head the ball, and that's about it. Like, but there we are.
You never know.
Anyway, moving on to Port Vale when we absolutely battered their ass 12-0. Thank you.
And he scored all 12.
And he's going to score
All
12, all from corners. That's the plan.
Trust the process. Kieran will care about it then. What's that? Sorry, Anne.
I'd like to know what the Smurfs have done to Graham.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. That's why I stopped. I was like, hold on.
Was it Gargamel, the evil guy, and did he get captured from him or something or other?
Don't tell us though, Graham, because if you are scared of Smurfs, we will all come on dressed as a Smurf next week.
Yeah, that's my plan. Right, Smurf outfits on order. Yeah, Sean, there's the FA Cup. We always tend to do it. Well, we'll have the FA Cup. The other one's a tin pot anyway. Who cares?
Just quickly looking at the slide. So, is there any what's really stand out to anyone?
Not really.
No,
not really. Moving on.
Donny beating Huddersfield, maybe. You know,
yeah.
Two side. That
Have a good win for the under-21 sides. That's what I guess. You know, Arsenal 2021s, Aston Villa under-21s, getting some wins. That's the thing for younger players to even get. I know we talk about, should these sort of sides be in the competition, and obviously I'm in, the frame of mind of saying, look, I don't think these sort of sides should be competing in this because it just takes away a little bit of the integrity of the competition. I think for the sides in League 1 and 2. But obviously the fact that they are in it, it is what it is. But for them to get some good experience, against physical players, full men's football for them, it gives them the best chance of succeeding and actually getting into the first teams in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think Arsenal and Villa, obviously, in as well, obviously Forest and Newcastle as well, nicking some wins as well. But it's just showing as well, at least, that they're competing as well with teams in the Football League, which is good, because sometimes they really struggle. Some of them drop into non-league because, they can't handle maybe the intensity of League 1, 2 football, but it's proven that they are on a levels playing field, even if they are making loads of changes to Football League size themselves.
I'll tell you the ironic thing about this competition is that you've got these Premier League under-21 sides, yet the Premier League teams don't actually have to play under-21 side teams. You had Everton the other week against Accrington, they had bloody Better on. They had all these first teamers who were above the age of 21. It's bizarre that they can kind of... Chelsea should be winning this bloody competition with the 87 players they've got.
Do you know what I did like about this cup though? Where I don't know if any of you agree, but when we were in the league, I liked the fact that you could see some of these under-21 players because then, with us not having the finances and the resources, we'd then loan some of these players, which I obviously thought was quite, good, considering some of the clubs don't have the finances. So as much as it is frustrating, I think it is quite good from that aspect.
Yeah, I suppose that there is that positive that if they perform well, they can go out on loan to these senior teams and more regularly experience this football. But again, the fact that these Premier League sides technically they don't have to play under 21 players. They can just play first teamers who need a few minutes in the tanks. Again, really ironic given the fact that every single Premier League manager talks about too many games. But I don't love the competition, but I suppose I understand the almost scouting aspect of the competition.
Chris has said the same as well. It's an EFL competition, but Premier League clubs are in it. Why? I really don't know.
Yeah,
really don't know.
They just got bored.
I just wanted to quickly mention the Accrington Stanley Stockport game because bless in our little group chat that we have on WhatsApp with the people on our lower league, Rebecca was so excited, bless her, wasn't she? Because they went 1-0 up and then obviously Stockport did make a comeback. I know it is only in this trophy, like everyone says, but bless her for them few minutes. She was so happy.
She was chuffed, wasn't she? Bless her. Louis Barry.
It was because to be fair to Stockport, to be fair to Accrington, Stockport put out a really strong team.
Yeah.
And they were 1-0 up for a little while, and it was like, oh my god, this is going really well. And then the rest of the game kind of unfolded. But yeah,
Louis Barry had another goal to his goal of the season competition, didn't he? That only he's in it. It was another great goal, but
yeah, I feel like at the end of the season, all of the League One goal of the season nominations are just going to be Louis Barry. Nobody else.
Oh, it's come to that time, Ben.
Has it?
It has come to that time. We can do North first. Would you rather do North first?
Yeah, the North first. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not ready.
We will do National League North. So, Chris, get your match report at the ready. So first we do have
result for Spenny.
I know
that's a proper like really vicious derby and all that. Them and Darlow.
Look at Needham Market for one. Give us your match report. How did the game go?
Well done, Needham Market. And to be fair, they've gotten a place that Warrington, and I know I don't mean to be horrible to people who live in Warrington, but you're famous for being in the middle of Manchester and Liverpool. That's it. But fair play to the Market. Well done. So chuffed for them. What a day Saturday was.
Have you seen that?
Did they win again on Tuesday?
They did against Hereford, yes.
Oh my God!
I know.
They're unreal. Come on.
Warrington are terrified because Market's on fire.
No.
I just want to mention to Luke as well. I know usually we would have done this, but at the minute we are rotating the order of all the different leagues, so it is fair on everybody. So National League are last. I did put a running order out on Twitter as well, so please check that out every Thursday because you will know then when your league is mentioned. Saving the best till last, though, Luke. Any other standouts for anyone on the side?
Southport won. Yay!
Yeah.
Oxford City didn't lose. Yay!
Yay!
That's actually a really good point for them, though, to be fair, because Chorley have had a pretty solid start to the season. So, I think with Oxford still sitting bottom of the league and that, they needed to stop the rut they've been on recently. So, that's actually an excellent point for them. My one probably on this slide, I did see it and I can't find it. Oh, yeah. South Shields, I think, win against Scarborough. I think Scarborough, they've had a very, pretty good start. They were sitting just outside the playoffs and probably a bit of a crunch game even at this early stage in that. So that's for South Shields to go and get 3 points there. That really sets a tone. And I think it just puts them, just above them at the moment, Scarborough. So, yeah, that would be my probably standout one, I would say. But I obviously need them. But the trouble is I was saving them for the Tuesday night game. So I won't say them twice in a row. I'll save that one for the Tuesday one.
I will just quickly read out Chris's report. So Darlington 1, Spenny Moortown 0. So he has put Darlington away. What a god-awful ref. He really seemed to be out of his depth for this game between the two sides. Shocking officials. Spenny was so unlucky not to get at least 2 penalties in the game. Or at least 1 penalty, which was in front of me at the time. And our player got booked for diving, which wasn't a dive at all. Lost 1-0, just glad to get away from that place on Saturday.
Not a good day out.
Oh, the positivity is beaming through. I love it.
It's not a very nice place.
He also put as well, Oxford were 2-0 up though. I know, Sean mentioned Oxford didn't lose. That's a brilliant result. Aled isn't happy because Chester did win, even did one. I told you, I don't know what is going on with me at all. I'm losing it. I'm not cut out for this anymore. I'm losing my touch. Or you lot are corrupting me. I think it's that. And yeah, Luke, we are saving the best till last.
You know,
But you might
this
cut off.
league may be really interesting or whatever, but it's all about the needle markets that we met on the way.
100%.
That's all it is.
This made me laugh as well. Not that it gives you bad anxiety, but just Darlow gives me bad anxiety. He doesn't like Darlow, our Chris, does he?
Does not like Darlow.
Any other standouts on here, or should we move on, do you reckon? I mean, Scunthorpe won again, didn't they?
That's the top of the table clash early on.
Yeah.
That's 6 points clear. Well, I think obviously I've taken after Tuesday's games, that's Albion put 6 points clear now, so that's giving them a bit of daylight. I think it was important for them not to lose that game at this stage. And I think that Scunthorpe will win this league comfortably, personally. And so far so good for them, taking 19 points from 21 available. So they'll be thinking I might continue, because let's be honest, they're too big for that level. They need to go back up this year, and promotion should be promotion or bust for them this year, to be honest, because the amount of recruitment they must have gone into to get a side together that should really blitz that league. So yeah, I would fully expect them now to go on a roll now after that one, because that would give them a massive amount of confidence, that result.
This made me laugh as well, what Sean put. So you had a fantastic day out then?
This may as well have been...
Hell no.
This may as well have been me. This conversation between Sean and Chris is literally what me and all of you were when I talked about Bradford.
I was going to
That's
say,
literally
this
what
must
this
be the
is.
National League North Bradford.
It must be, yeah.
Remember, we do have Dietrich in here, though.
Yeah.
Got to be
I still
nice
don't
to
like. I still don't love the area of Bradford. That is all. I'm gonna live by that until they get rid of all the bloody scaffolding. All right? That's my plan.
Someone I wanted to mention as well, obviously, I know on Tuesday they didn't get a win, but Hereford seems to be picking up points at the minute, don't they? I think they're quite comfortable up in the table at the minute. Are they in playoffs?
Yeah, the playoffs at the moment they are. It's very tight around the playoff area. There's only, I think, 1 point between second and eighth at the moment. It's pretty incredible, even at this early stage. No one's really running away with it at the moment. So it's still very all to play for. It's just a case of when do the gaps start to really open up between some of those teams. Because the likes of your Kidderministers, even probably Chorley's when they eventually get back up there, maybe even Kings Lynn, that they'll probably be the three that will probably really go away, I would think, because they're sides that are expected to be in there this year. So yeah, I think and Hereford, to be fair, they're one that have underachieved, to be fair, in that league for a number of years. So is this maybe their time now to show what they're about? Because they're a big club in that league, and they should really be challenging for promotion. Really, the fan base they've got, it's a historic club in a historic ground. So that's the thing. Now they've really got to try and take this momentum now, early season momentum, into the coming months, because they've got to make sure they stay there now. It's going to be. It could be easy for them to fall away, a couple of bad results, and then suddenly start to sit down the table again. So they've got to make sure the confidence remains high over there in the next few games.
Just another spoiler as well about Darlington. He used to work there.
Definitely not going there now.
I've been Southampton, but I've never been to Scunthorpe. Turns out Tiny Temper was right. I've been to both, Sam. Ooh.
Yeah.
And Dan has. Anyone else?
Not
Scunthorpe. I matched that song. I've been to Southampton, but I've never been to Scunthorpe.
Oh, Sam, we will go to Scunthorpe for our next podcast just for you. I'm joking. Just before we move on as well, I'll just put, never been Darlow, even though we did used to be in the same division before they reformed, so never got to see their previous ground, even though I had a chance to.
Play rugby on that now. Wasting money.
Unrelated thing, but the guy who scored for San Marino today wasn't born when San Marino won their first and only ever competitive match. He wasn't born to see it, so there we go. Isn't that cool?
Very, very cool.
Cool indeed.
Tuesday's games and Needham Market again.
That's
Was you
fine.
there? Did you travel to Hereford?
I did
wanna
not travel to Hereford. No, I did not.
You
But
could
what a
have made
win!
it up.
Yeah, what a
Damn.
win! I mean, all jokes aside, I had 2 wins in a row for them. Like, I mean, fair play to them because they were marooned at the bottom, weren't they? They lost the first
2 away
two
wins in a row.
and then we've won 2 in a row. So it's ever since I found out they're all red. First time I've since I've noticed that they wear red and white, and yeah, fair play to them. Like, I really hope they stay up. To be fair, but yeah, that's class for them. Well done, Needham.
Na 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 na.
No.
Hereford are terrified because Needham's on fire.
Just before.
I'm getting my Mac reports up for my fantastic team in the National League South.
No
My
problem.
favourite.
Just before, obviously, I ask you all, Chris has put his match report. So Radcliffe 2, Spennymoor 4. So back to winning ways.
I
Radcliffe
noticed
away.
the ref wasn't bad for the game when they won.
I know. Radcliffe away. Finally, we got our first win away at Radcliffe against our former managers. Ollie Dyson got his first goal of the season early on, but then Spenny went 2-1 down. Oh. They had one cleared off the line and hit the post, but on the counter-attack, Moore scored the 4th goal thanks to Isaac Fletcher to secure the 3 points. Get in, Spenny. Go, lads. Aled has put as well. I was at the Rushall Olympic game, and Olympic look a good side, but feel Marine should have had a penalty, but Picks definitely deserved the win. Luke has put, the ref was good this time, but all National League refs are crap. Finally, I told you she was at the San Marino game. As soon as it finishes, she's come in. Hi, Claire.
Yeah.
You got the time do all the team talk and all the press work afterwards as well.
Sam has put, Claire is here. Thought you'd be celebrating with your San Marino teammates. We're all here. We're
I agree with Sam's earlier comment as well. I think someone should shell out for a Needham Market top for me. Like, I'd be over the moon if anyone. So any Needham Market officials watching the game?
Certainly won't.
I wonder how much they are.
34 quid.
I'm gonna have a look. Oh, now I'm going to have a look at how much my team is.
Get some at random on your back what they'd sell at a market.
Yeah.
Watches on muffins.
Cobblers.
She has put as well, Claire, that she has been on a cleaning spree. Feel 6 is something to keep me going. And yeah, I was on the pitch too. Ha, ha, ha.
£45 quick for a National League South shirt. Are you taking the piss?
Any other standout games? I mean, there's a lot of draws, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a few draws and a few 0-0s and 1-1s going around.
Yeah. I think Ben mentioned before, obviously, Scunthorpe. Even though they are expected to go up, the fact they've started so well is good for them. And, 6 points clear at the top of the league. Yeah, it's less to lose already, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I think, let's be honest, I think I was saving it because I didn't want to mention them twice on the other hand, because I would have normally said Needham Market, but I think that result better than the one they got on Saturday, because that is a fantastic result for them. To go away to Hereford, the start, like I said, the start they've had, and it shows that getting one win, can really create some momentum, because let's be honest, they've had a very tough start to life in the 6th tier. So, to go there, I think I saw a couple of their full-time tweets now, and apparently the Needham Market keeper had an absolute blinder, he did. So I think that was massive key. But then again, it's never going to be pretty to go somewhere like there, and absolutely make the game as comfortable as possible for them. They probably would have had to ride their luck a little bit. But it is all about just ticking off the wins, and a clean sheet away from home I think that's might be one of their first ones of the season, if not their first of the season. And it takes them out of sort of the relegation zone now. That's the thing. It just proves that how much one win can do from everyone, as you see there. That that's they wouldn't have been dreaming of that. Just before Saturday, like less than a week ago. Now they've been like sitting rock bottom. So absolutely fair play to Needham. Again, a club I think, as Ant would say, I really hope they do, because they're the big underdogs. Everyone expects them to finish probably rock bottom of this league. And with the resources they've got, I've been to the ground. It's not the best of grounds. They will need to do a lot to bring it up to National North standards. But if they can stay up in that division, with the money that's been thrown around at that level, then their manager deserves the freedom of the famous town of Needham. Honestly, because I don't know if it's ex-Man City man Kevin Horlock. I don't know if he's the one that's still manager there at the moment. I mean, Chris might be able to say possibly, because I know he was there when we lost him in the FA Cup. So, and he's performed absolute miracles there. So if he is still there, then by all means, he's going to get the freedom of the town they stay up this year, because that would be a bigger achievement for them than winning, promotion last season.
The freedom of the market.
I've just looked at the fixtures. They've got Farsley Celtic on Saturdays. I mean, that's a winnable game, isn't it? They're not like massively up in the table, so fingers crossed. I mean, it's still taking the piss at them in the National League North rather than Suffolk, but
Lowestoft had to do it as well for a number of years, so they're not the only
ones. Chris has mentioned in the chat, Scunthorpe, the only team unbeaten so far in the North. And he also mentioned, I can't get to his comment. Where's it gone? This is for you, Ant. The ref we had on Tuesday was actually good this time.
Well, of course he was. I've just checked as well. Horlock is still the manager of Needham, Mark. I used to like Kevin Horlock. I like them even more now. I like them even more now than Kevin Horlock. Just a likable team.
So the National League North table. So top of the table, we do have Scunthorpe United. They have 19 points. Kidderminster are second with 13 points. Kings Lynn Town are third with 13 points. Curzon Ashton are in fourth with 13 points. Fifth are Hereford on 12 points. Chorley are 6th on 12 points. Alfreton Town are 7th on 12 points. And then in the relegation zone, in 21st, we have Rushall Olympic, who are on 6 points. I can't get my words out at all today. 22nd are Marine on 5 points. 23rd are Radcliffe on 3 points. And Oxford City, bless them, Uncle Nick's teams are not doing very well. It's because they all miss him. They are rock bottom on 3 points. Ben, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Are you ready?
Haven't we? We'll start with more positive one.
Yes. Come on, Ned. Come on, Ned.
The Boreham Wood game, I thought we were excellent. I thought we more than deserved a draw from that game. It was never going to be an easy one for us. I think after Bank Holiday Monday's result against Western-super-Mare, a lot of people were probably expecting us to lose the game quite comfortably in the end. But from the off, we showed a bit more attacking intent. By all means, we didn't create a massive amount of clear-cut chances, but then again, neither did Boreham Wood. I thought we struck lucky a little bit because one of their biggest attacking threats, and an ex-player of ours, Josh Hare, went off with a bloody nose, and the replacement come on. I thought, well, that's good then. That takes one of their big attacking threats off, and it turns out it was his substitute that scored the goals. It just proves how much little I know about football, and it's a goal that I think could have been avoided. It's another set piece we've conceded from, another corner, which we just can't seem to defend at the moment. He was allowed to turn inside our 18-yard box, and I've seen the pictures. The goalkeeper, Alexis Andre Jr., I think could have done better because he's tried to punch it rather than try and actually get palms to it, and he's actually ended up punching it into the top corner. So I think he'd been quite disappointed on his part, albeit the defending wasn't good. I think the goalkeeping wasn't great either. And then we nearly got ourselves equalised straight away with Aaron Blay sort of managed to curl a low effort, but it struck the outside of the post. And then, at half time, you're thinking, oh, God, here we go again, sort of thing. And, there wasn't really much in the second half. We huffed and puffed, without creating a huge amount. But then again, Bournemouth didn't really do that much either. I was a bit surprised by them because I thought they would have been a lot better than what maybe their results would say in the squad they've got. But I think, to be fair, we nullified them, to their strengths really well for long periods of the game. And then we managed, 5 minutes from time, to get our equaliser through Temi Aweke, our centre-back, who's currently our top goal scorer at the moment with 2 goals, sort of coming from a long throw from Ben Brooks. And, it was a more than deserved point out of it. I would have felt a little bit hard done by had we not come away from there with anything. And I think the good thing was that we did try to play football, which is what I liked. We kept the ball ground. There was a nice triangle play. They used because Portsmouth would have got a lovely pitch, obviously, because the Arsenal women that play there. And, it's a lovely service for us to actually pass the ball around a little bit. And we actually used it to our advantage. And, I was more than pleased to come away with a point from that. And I think a lot of supporters were at the end of the day because, going to Bournemouth at any time when you're in good form, bad form, a point's not a bad result. So, yeah, we would have certainly taken that at the start of the afternoon.
Did you see the comment Graham put to you as well, Ben?
Oh, yeah, well, hopefully, as long as we don't have to go back. I was going to say in playoffs, but the trouble is we're so far away from that right now. I think you might be right, but that might be the first and last have to go there again because, honestly, their media policy is an absolute joke. They wouldn't let any radio in at all. You have to pay to film the game and everything like that as well. It's, I don't know what goes on. To be fair to their media team, it's nothing to do with their media team because their media team are actually really good to me. But yeah, I think it's just the owner, Hunter. He's just, he's always been a bit of a dodgy bloke, I think. So he's tried to stop radio coming in to attract more supporters in, which clearly didn't make a difference because there was only, I think, 900 there and 200 were our supporters. So it shows that it's not making a massive difference for them at the moment. And I can tell you right now, there was not 700 Bournemouth fans in that ground. Honestly, there was so empty. So I don't know where on earth they got that figure from. But yeah, hopefully that is the last time to go there this season. It's a nice venue to do the Twitter from, but in just to turn the whole match day experience, it's not very good.
Just before we carry on with the National League South, Sam has put in the chat, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, we are so close to 1K subscribers on YouTube. If you're not already subbed, please join our journey or even persuade your nan, Kieran. Don't comment.
No comment. No comment.
Even persuade your nan to subscribe. She would absolutely love it.
No comment. Moving on.
Luke put as well, Gates said get more than Boreham Wood. You will never sing that.
Yeah, fair point.
So going back to Saturday's game, any more standouts?
Lucky Salisbury let me down. Livid.
Sorry?
My Sainsbury's FC. Salisbury.
Oh,
Livid. Salisbury. My favourite team. My Sainsbury. Salisbury. That's what I'm calling them now.
Lovely part of the world, Lord Salisbury.
Let me down. Salisbury.
I didn't want to mention them really, but I think they do deserve a bit of credit, Tunbridge Angels, because I think a lot of people had them to go down. With the recruitment they had, I thought they were going to do absolutely terrible. But there they are. They sit fourth in the league at the moment, 15 points to their name. And, they're just grinding out the wins. I mean, look, we love the manager down there, Jay Saunders, because he's our most successful manager we've had in the club's history. And we know how much good side he can put together because he trusts the signings that he makes. And he's always done that. And I think, to be fair, we've probably always sort of seen that he's maybe just trying to, sort of just tick off, still managing at that level. It's a comfortable role for him. But to be fair, it still shows that he's still got the hunger. He wants to get promotion at that level again. I mean, albeit for Tunbridge, they'd have to do a hell of a lot of work if they did manage that miracle. But, they've given us a hell of a lot of stick this week, which I'm not surprised by. But, fair play to them. They're doing exactly what they should be doing. They're winning games of football and, they're, more than overachieving at that level. And yeah, I think as well, Hemsted's win against Bath City as well. Again, Hemel, another side that we wouldn't have expected to be anywhere even near the playoffs, to be honest. And, they're sitting top of the league at the moment. It's quite incredible. The sides that are expected to do well are the ones that actually aren't doing very well. So, 4-2 win over Bath, who've not had, they've had a bit of an indifferent start themselves. And, Hemel scoring a lot of goals at the moment. They really are, could really be a dark horse and, real dangerous threat. So I'm not looking forward to going there soon when we probably have to play them. But they're probably the real standouts, I think, of the weekend, from the Saturday anyway.
I just wanted to remind people in the chat as well, if I haven't read your comment out yet, I will get to it. I just obviously want to wait until people on here have had their say and the context of it and everything as well. So Russ has mentioned Slough Town, Scott Davis's blue and gold army, and smile.
Just laughing at you.
No, honestly, I say it all the time and I'm really not being rude, everyone. I just like to the context and everything of it and at the right time. Chris has put Weymouth are massively struggling in the south. They really need to turn it around if they are to stay up. Ben will know more than me, but not good results.
I don't think they've scored in 6 games, I think it is, Weymouth. I think they've only scored 2 goals. I think they're currently haven't scored in the last 6 games, which is not good, albeit they're not getting beaten quite heavily, but they are losing games by the odd goal or 2 goals. And I said at the start of the season they're going to struggle this year. I think, they've brought in a manager, obviously, that has done success there, but I think he's not recruited very well. And, I fully expect him to be down there. And I really would be surprised if they do manage to stay up, because after 7 games now, not having a single point and not scoring in the last 6, there's a massive concern down there. So something needs to change down there very quickly. Otherwise, they're in for a hell of a long season down there at Weymouth.
Hornchurch lost. That's not good.
No, Western are in good form, though. They're in really good form at the moment. I think it's 5 wins in a row they've had now. They've really hit some form early on in the season, but Hornchurch have been a bit different, actually. I think they're still adapting to the level, actually. So, Darryl McMahon, I know he'll get it right there, but again, they're still doing better than us. So, it's not very difficult at the moment, but it's not. They're capable. I think the thing is, I've always said they're scoring goals. They're capable of scoring goals, but defensively, they've always leaked a little bit. I've always found in previous years. So, I think they need to just sort it out a little bit at the back, and then they could really be a match for any team in this league.
What a stat this is as well, what Russ has mentioned. Slough haven't been beaten at home in over a year.
Yeah, I saw that. They've always, every time I've gone there, 3 times now? Is it 3? Yeah, I think I've gone there 3 times now, and I think I've seen us lose every single time we've gone there. The only time we won there was during COVID, and I had to self-isolate because obviously I had to miss it because I was doing the Twitter. So I had to watch the game from home on the stream.
Didn't count,
mate.
Look, Slough have been absolutely fantastic in the way they've approached this so far, and they are, probably for me, I think the best team in this league at the moment. The way they're playing and the way they've got everyone behind the project there. Look, Scott Davis is working with fairly limited resources. They're a fully part-time outfit, and they're getting results of that. This stage. They've always been a team that have got potential to get in the players. They did it one year, I think it was during COVID. But other than that, they're sort of around mid-table, to be honest. So they've certainly, got their season going the best way possible.
Just going back to the chat really, really quickly as well. Chris has mentioned brilliant result for Chesham on Saturday away to Welling. Luke has put, we did the same thing as Slough, and I'm very scared about this. I'm hoping it's usual who's top of League One, but Clara said that she's got a question for me, so I'm actually quite scared right now.
This goes one or 2 ways.
But go ahead, Claire. Obviously, we have midweek fixtures as well. Do you want to talk about other ones first, Ben, or do you want to get yours over and done with?
No, we'll talk about other results first. I don't want to talk about it yet.
I've got one.
Not Salisbury, for God's sake. They lost again.
You lost again, no, Salisbury. Where's Hornchurch? There's the boy. Evelyn got a good result there, though, Ben. And that's a really good result for them. They've been down the bottom, haven't they? Beating Dawkins, a great result.
Yeah, I was going to say that was probably my standout, actually, to be fair, because Aveley have had a very tough start to the season, and Dawkins, look, everyone said they were, like Mark White said, they were going to blitz the league. Welcome back to the National League South, Mark White, because it's not as easy as you think. I mean, that's 2 games in a row now they haven't won, and I think they scored very late on, so I think probably the 3-1 flatters them a little bit because Aveley were 3-0 up at the time with a couple of minutes to go. So that's a real lifeline that for Aveley, because I generally think they'll have second season syndrome, but to get a win like that against it's like look, let's be honest, Dorking probably will be the best side in this league, footballing wise. The way they play, look, Charles, you would see as well how they set up in the National League all the time. They've never changed their style. They never will. Mark White doesn't like changing anything. He will always go with what he should do. So we've got sort of a couple of months before we have to go there and have to see him, and by that point we'll probably be bottom of the league anyway. So, but I mean that as well, and I think Worthing as well. They've hit a bit of form recently. They've really come into their own, because they had a fairly difficult first few games now where they were sort of not scoring goals, but I think they scored a late goal. I think it was the winning goal. I think it was that Cashman scored. It was a blooming good team goal, actually. To be fair.
Our podcast adopted player. We've adopted him, haven't we?
yeah. Honestly, you know what? It was a very good team goal, and he took it so well because I think he dummied to the first shot, past the defender, and sort of just slotted it past Ashmore. It was a very, very well worked goal, and one I expect Boreham Wood to be scoring, not Worthing. So that's a big old result for them, and they're starting to really push up the table now. Because I always said I thought they were going to struggle this year after they lost the likes of Felix and Pearce, but they're really pushing it back now, and I think they're only a couple of points off the playoffs. So a massive fair play to them on that.
Any others you want to talk about before you get yours? I will quickly go back to the chat anyway. Thank God for that. It was who's top of League One. I missed it. I think it'll change at the weekend. So last time I can ask. So does anybody know who is top of League One?
Wrexham.
Wrexham. Oh, Jed.
Shrewsbury.
Oh. It's Stockport County. And just for you, Claire. Louis Barry. I will read his comment out as well. Chris has mentioned Weston getting a great result over Slough. And then Russ has mentioned as well, Slough had a Weston. Worst performance this season so far. Luke has asked as well, who's top of National League? We will find out very soon, Luke. But remember, I might have cut a few teams out. Might only be us in National League.
Rochdale in my eyes.
Claire has mentioned as well, Ben would like this one to be skipped.
It's not going to happen. I would, but I know it ain't going to happen. So let's get over and done.
You can. I'm feeling nice tonight. Apart from the little sassy moments now and again.
It's important to talk about, the lows as well as the highs, isn't it? Let's be honest. Tuesday was an absolute embarrassment, if I'm being totally honest. We started off the game so well. We scored after 58 seconds, believe it or not. And again, another goal from a set piece. We still haven't scored from open play yet this season. We're 7 games in. It's ridiculous. And, first 10 minutes, we absolutely battered Chelmsford. We probably could have maybe had another one in that time. We put them under huge pressure. But as soon as they got their equaliser, the game opened up. It was a good first half to watch, to be fair. Because I did like the way for good 20-25 minutes. I did like the way we were playing. It was more positive. We were getting the ball out wide. We were doing things a little bit quicker, but just without that end products. And we really are missing a bit of a target man up top at the moment. Because I love Aaron Blair, and I think he worked his socks off big time on Tuesday. But when the ball gets crossed into the 6-yard box, I'd rather have a 6'4" striker, manage to get on the end of it rather than someone's probably about 5'8", 5'9".
Newport.
Well, anyone will do right. I'll take Crouchy out of retirement if I could. So, and then the second goal. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it was an absolute disaster. Where I think we had a long throw, and our lad Charlie Seaman's taken a shot. It's been blocked, and then before you know it, we had absolutely no one at the back, and it left their player to just run through on goal from the halfway line, and the goal filled me with absolute frustration because Alexis Andre Jr. turned his back and ran back towards his goal. Whereas if he'd been facing, he could have got the first touch because the first touch was so heavy, he could have got there. But I've always said it. I teach my goalkeeper. I'm a goalkeeper coach myself. But when you take that first, when the team gets the ball back, you shouldn't be running back to your goal. You should be facing the ball all the time, because for all he could have done, he could have lobbed in from that wide range.
Yeah.
That's basics of goalkeeping. And all he had to do was turn his back, and he makes the interception. But he didn't. He panics. He went backwards, and then they scored. Albeit it's not completely his fault. Obviously, look, I don't know why we left ourselves so short at the back from a long throw. We put all our big defenders in, didn't leave anyone there, and we were vulnerable to a counter attack. So we got absolutely punished. And then second half, we huffed and puffed, but we absolutely capitulated, that last 15 minutes. And as soon as that third goal goes in, I don't think I've seen the place so toxic for quite some time. I think we conceded 3 very bad goals, and it's not taking anything away from Chelmsford, because, they were very worthy of the 3 points and the manner that they won the game in the end. But my God, we gave it to them on a plate that last 10 minutes. The goals were absolutely embarrassing. And it's a tough one to take, because, Chelmsford hadn't won a game before the first 6 games. They come to us, the batter of 5-1 in front of our own home crowd, which obviously left our home crowd in a lot of rage. Obviously boos in front of the management and the players yet again. The players are there is no illusions. They're under huge pressure at the moment. And let's be honest, the management are as well. 7 games in, we've only got 6 points on the board. We've only won 1 game. We haven't won for 6 games. It's becoming a bit worrying at the moment. And obviously someone behind it, involved with the club and that, I always try and back, the team and everything like that. Look, because I want to go in every game. You try and remain positive and that. And obviously it is still early days, but I am very concerned at the moment. And, I hate to say, and look, I'm going to be brutally honest here, and obviously a few people would have seen it over the last week. Unfortunately, after the Boreham Wood game, I got a little bit of stick from a supporter over my full-time tweet, which I thought was completely out of order, to be honest, because I work hard all week, like all of you guys do. I work hard all week, and my reward is to come and see my football team play. I do everything, to the best of my standards. I do everything to try and back the team and try and be as positive as I can, but also being realistic. And the last thing I want is someone telling me that I'm awful at my job. And I'm thinking, I won't stand for it. I'm not going to stand for that, because at the end of the day, I support this football club. I pay my season ticket to come in every year. And, I'm not going to have someone telling me that I'm not good at my job, because I refuse to. And that's the thing, people are getting that annoyed now. They want to try and find someone else to target at the football club. That's the thing. It's the owners have been targeted, the management. And someone, and bear in mind, look, it is only a very small minority of people. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate that. I just find it absolutely embarrassing. I called him out, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to stand for it. And I said, look, if you've got a problem with me, come and talk to me face to face, and then tell me I'm awful at my job. And funnily enough, he didn't show on Tuesday. So what does that say about him? And I'm not going to have people calling me out like that.
Sorry.
So sorry.
Wet wipe.
That's the thing. It just baffles me, because at the end of the day, it's like, and do you know what? I do have to big up our radio commentator Fred Atkins, because they did the commentary as well because the game was live on National League TV as well, and they did a hot take and everything. So basically, we have a camera, we film our commentators basically analysing the game, and I have to give him a massive amount of thank you, really, because he really backs me on it. So basically, he was trying to tell supporters that everyone needs to just calm down a little bit, because everyone doesn't, hates the result. We haven't played well at all tonight, but let's start thinking about things before we start posting it. And he really backs me on it. He did. He said, look, Ben's a volunteer. He's been doing the job at the club for years. He does a really good job. He shouldn't be the one that has to take the stick from, the team not winning games. And, it is true, because let's say at the end of the day, it's not my fault that the team are losing games of football. So why do people feel like they need to come for me? That's the thing. It's like, just don't, I think I saw Claire's comment, like, just don't be a dick. That's the thing. It's like, at the end of the day.
Yeah. That's what I can't understand about it, Ben, is, and you've literally just hit the nail on the head, because, obviously we were all support you and everything in the group chat over the week, and I made a comment to Dros to come down and deck them for you and all that stuff, but the comment still stands. I would do it if you wanted to. But how, as a supporter, we've all been through tough times as football fans, because it comes with, we can't all be Man City. You know what I mean? It comes with,
Shoots.
Exactly. Yeah. It just, it comes with the job. You know what I mean? But the fact that some moron to be honest, is taking it out on the guy who does the social media, but also as well, you do it out of the goodness of your heart, and someone who's voluntarily doing it, you don't have to do that, and then they're probably left without, social media or Twitter, Twitter tweets and everything like that, and you do a bloody good job of it, mate. You know what I mean? I mean, I follow you guys on it now because I think it's a good job what you do, and why on earth someone wants to take it out on you, I think is madness. And I think Claire mentioned it really, really brilliantly. Just don't be a dickhead. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, I was really pleased because I did have a couple of messages from our ex-captain Gavin Hoyt. He sent me a message and that, and we had our skipper as well, George Fowler, the other night. He was part of that side, and he said, look, mate, or even actually before the Chelmsford game, he said, mate, like don't take note of those fix, saying you're doing a bloody good job, you are. And it's nice to hear that from the players. That's the thing, because I mean, I know what my role is at the club, and I know I do everything to the best of my ability. Look, I don't expect to be perfect, that's the thing, and it's just when people call out the content and thinking, look, if we were winning games, you wouldn't give a crap about what we're posting. That's the thing. It's because we're losing now. You want something to have a moan at. It's like not about the players and the management, and that's the thing. Do you know what? He wouldn't have noticed. I was a nervous wreck before Tuesday's interview with George because I didn't know what to say, because I'm getting people that are probably going to ask me saying, "Oh, you need to ask tougher questions," or I don't know how George is going to react. That's the thing. It's like I know George is good with me anyway, to be fair, and he wouldn't probably have a go at me. But that's the thing. I was so nervous. I haven't been that nervous for a post-match interview since Hakan Hayrettin's last game in charge for us at York City when we got battered 4-1. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't want to see it. And it's just it is madness. And do you know what? Like, look, it is football, but that's the thing. Have a moan at the team. You pay your money. Have a moan at the team. Have a moan at the management. Because at the end of the day, they're paid for it. At the end of the day, it's their job. And to go out and win games of football. We lose games like that. I'd expect supporters to be annoyed. But just don't come for the volunteers. Like I said, there's so many other people at the club that, should be going for first. Me and my radio commentators and other people that work, as volunteers at the club, we should be the last people that people should be coming for. Because at the end of the day, like you say, we're supporters like everyone else. So at the end of the day, if we're not getting results, that's down to the players and the management to sort out, not us. Yeah. We'll do everything we can to, keep everyone happy, trying to keep everyone on side and that, but also keeping it realistic, saying, look, we're not going to be Mr. Happy Clappers and all that sort of thing, which is a term that's been used at the club recently. We are going to try and, say, look, we want to turn this around. And I've got full faith in George. I know a lot of people haven't. And I say, because I know him so well, and I want nothing more for him to try and succeed at this club. But, he has got a difficult month ahead of him, because if he loses the next few games, it could start to get very, difficult for him. But, I'll still back him as manager, because at the end of the day, he's been so good to me and, to the media team. So, hopefully we'll get it right on Saturday. And, the players, I think, will have to go out with a little bit of less pressure, I think, now against Enfield. So get 3 points there, and then suddenly everything's good again, and then Sunday we can start looking upwards. But we'll see.
Anyone, and obviously it doesn't include anyone in obviously on the night and anyone in this chat, but anyone who is watching this, who is hiding behind a keyboard, it is only football. It's not life there. Don't worry about it. It's not being an arsehole to volunteers who as Ben said, who supports the club as well. Otherwise, you're just too entitled, to be honest. So, yeah. Hashtag don't be a dick.
I find the most ironic thing about that situation was that the individual quote tweeted the club account and said that, the club media are delusional because they said a point well earned. What did he want you to tweet? We were absolutely shit and we just about got a point. Is that what he wanted you to tweet? I don't understand.
We need to be shot at, though. This is the thing. It's like, look, if we don't win, it's like, what do we put out? It's like, I've got, that's the thing. I literally stuck with Tuesday. I just put defeat, because I'm like, look, what else can you say other than that without annoying people? I thought, look, just leave it at that. And that's the thing. It's like, and I guarantee you that person wasn't that Boreham Wood, because if he was, he wouldn't have said what he did, because, we were very worthy of a point. And a lot of supporters came away from that. And like I said, like in Clarefoot, no one backs him up on it. And everyone knows that we deserved a point from that game. And, we could have even won it at the end. Everyone just looks at its result. It's a poor result. It's not a win. But it's like, look, no, it's a step in the right direction. Well, it was a step in the right direction, obviously, before Tuesday. But, yeah, I just think, look, people just need to, just relax a little bit. And it's like, look, just, as my commentator said, just think before you post. That's the thing. These are human beings at the end of the day. And that's the thing. It's like, just, how I would take that, because I took that really personally. I did. I was like, it's like at the end of the day, I don't want to be hearing that. It's like, don't get me wrong, sometimes you might get criticised for a spelling mistake or something like that. Obviously, people will be the first person to go for me on that. But to actually come out and personally insult me, I just thought, like, saying, look, you would not come up to me and tell that to my face, like, firsthand. That's the thing. It's like, do it behind the keyboard. That's the thing, because that's your safe space. Come and actually say it to my face. I would rather people come and say it to my face, because then I'll give them my feelings. That's the thing. Because I won't have people talking behind my back like that. It's just not on. So, yeah, obviously, look, nothing's going to change. I'm still going to be there on Saturdays on the social media. That doesn't change for me. At the end of the day, you've got to appreciate the bad times as well as the good times. And this is a bit of a bad time at the moment for everyone involved at the club. But look, it can only go up from here, can't it? So, look, if we win on Saturday, then suddenly things are a little bit more relaxed. It won't be perfect, obviously, but it will be a little bit more relaxed. And the pressure is on the players now. So it's up to them now to deliver it on Saturday, which I know they'll be really working hard to do. So fingers crossed on it.
Also, as well, if you are going to say something, don't then make your tweets private, because you just look like an idiot.
It's a very
and we will all come for you. Every
Yeah.
single one of us. We're not just individuals. We are one team. And if you upset one of us, we all come for you.
Yeah.
I did
come, but I'm willing.
That's the thing. I do. I say I will. I mean, I've said it to you guys already, but I did really appreciate it. So, like, people, backing me. I know our supporters most of them would have done that anyway, but for it coming from you guys as well, it did mean a lot to me. So always one family, aren't we, at this podcast? So yeah, I do really appreciate it. Thank you.
Exactly. And just one more question for you, Ben.
There's a pat on the shoulder there. There you go.
So the answer to that question, Dietrich, he is the same one that played for #United for a little bit. So he's the big TikTok sensation. So we need a little bit more for him at the moment, which I know full well. He knows he's probably not paying at his absolute best. Don't get me wrong, he's not disastrous, but need a little bit more from him at the moment. So yeah, hopefully clean sheet on Saturday, then everyone will be loving him as our number one again.
Just quickly before we move on to the table as well, Graham put a comment, and it is kind of linked to idiots on social media, because some idiot on social media actually referred to Rochdale as the National League Manchester City. We've not even spent that much money. But yeah, so it just fitted in. Like I said, context, and this was great context. So, yeah, and that was coming. I know you do like them, Ben, but that was actually coming from a Chelsea fan as well who put that. Who has spent a lot of money and we're calling Rochdale.
The irony.
But yeah, the National League South table. So at the top, we do have I hate saying this one because I can never pronounce my H's being northern. So we have got, I need to say it slow, so I'll sound quite posh. Hemel Hempstead, there we go.
Yeah.
They have 17 points, but my northern accent wanted to say Hemel Hempstead. Second are Torquay United on 16 points. Slough are third on 15 points. Tonbridge Angels are fourth on 15 points. Weston-super-Mare are fifth on 15 points. Eastbourne are sixth on 14 points. Truro City are seventh on 13 points. And then in relegation, we have Averley, who are 21st on 5 points. Enfield Town are 22nd on 3 points. St Albans are 23rd on 1 point. And Weymouth still have no points, unfortunately.
Tough time.
Luton, get ready for it. Get ready for it. Send in your match report because we are finally on National League. So yeah, I'm going to ask you guys first. So Kieran, I'm going to come to you first. Obviously, I know you do want to say Rochdale, like all of you do, and you want to give us the credit. But who else would you like to mention?
Oh, you know what? I won't give the credit to Rochdale. I'll give it to Barnett for casually putting 7 past Tamworth for not conceding a single thing. Yeah, just casually. No, if I'm not mistaken, they've not had the best of starts that they would have, maybe hoped for. But I mean, Tamworth came up from the National League North, didn't they, last season, and they were already against it in that kind of early prediction odds to stay up. And well, I'm not going to say that's a very bad sign, but you don't often concede 7 without replies. So Yeah, not ideal for them, but no, a good kind of stepping stone, isn't it? A banner to build on.
Jen, any standouts for you?
I'd say Forest Green. They seem to be doing really well in the National League, considering they got relegated. I think
So boring.
All right, calm down over
They're
there.
so boring. I don't like Forest Green.
You've had your say, Kieran. Let Jen speak, please.
But no, I think they've done very well in the National League to be where they are, considering they did get relegated last season. So we'll see if they make it back up again or not.
Anne, I know obviously you want to mention us like everyone else does.
Obviously.
But
Dale,
who are you going to mention?
All the shot 4, Maidenhead 3,
Right,
sounded
yeah.
an absolute crackerjack. Didn't the filed in Southend and get called off because the Southend's train got cancelled?
Yeah.
I mean, cars are available.
Unless they can't find them in Southend.
Probably that, but I mean, we've got to mention DL, haven't we? That's a fantastic result. So maybe Hartlepool as well, because I think they were down to 10 men for a lot of that game and managed to get a draw against Braintree, but up the deal.
Well, don't want to give us too much credit. Ben?
I mean, look, I can't look past obviously Barnett's 7-0 win against a side that barely conceded any goals last year.
Oh, they fluked it. I'm joking.
They probably didn't know that stuff. But you know what? Look, Rochdale's win over Woking, that's a massive result in terms of where both teams were in the league. Woking have had an excellent start to the season, and I've told you, like Jig McNulty's cooking something down there. Like I say, even it is early days. Don't get me wrong, but they are starting to show a bit of resilience at home now, aren't they? So, and that's the thing. I think with getting that crowd behind you at Spotland, I think that will be massive. So yeah, I think that's a massive credit to Rochdale in there. But obviously, Mr. Little will be happy as well. Look, a last-minute winner for Gateshead in the top of the table
100%.
clash against Eastleigh. Couldn't have been more delighted for them over that mob. Sorry about that, Sam, if you're still in the chat. But yeah, fair play to Gateshead. Like I say, they just don't know when to go away at the moment. Look, I think 14 points from first 18 available. That's a fantastic start for them. And I think this is I think Luke will be able to tell me this is the first time in their history that they've been top of the National League. So, and their manager will be saying now, look, we need to make sure we stay there. And I think that's what he said after the game. And, it's going to be a massive challenge for them, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think, with the way they play, the players they've got, albeit I would say the fan base, obviously it's not as big as some of the bigger clubs in that league. But, I think to be fair, maybe having that big support base might actually take a little bit of pressure to them because most of their players can go out and play with some freedom. Look, let's be honest, the Gateshead Stadium's not the biggest in terms of atmosphere, but that maybe allows the players to focus a little bit more. And, the way they've always set up, I've always said for the last years, they're the best footballing side in that division.
100%.
So, that's the thing. It really wouldn't surprise me if they could go for a title charge this year. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, don't get me wrong, no one probably expects them to, but I think the way they, obviously what way the end of last season happened for them, I think it's giving them more motivation, more drive now to think, look, right, okay, we want to push on. We want to go one step further now because, our chance was taken away of being potentially a Football League side this season. So let's go for it this year and really, take the shackles off. So yeah, an absolute massive credit to Gateshead and that result against East. I'm, really pleased for them.
I do have a match report as well from Luke. Bless him. He has been waiting so patiently as well. And he must be so excited. You will find out about the table after, though. So just bear with me. Eastleigh at home. Have to say, it wasn't a classic of a game, but Eastleigh, as expected, made it really tough for us, but we managed to pull through with a Louis Story last-minute winner. Top of the league. Or shall I emphasise it with capitals? Top of the league! There you go, Luke. We have Barnet at home next game, another massive game. First versus third in the National League. Oh, do you know what, right? I know we have our banter and stuff, like me and Luke all the time, but I am so happy for them because, and I've said it time and time again, last season, they were one, if not the best footballing side in that league. The honestly, just the style of play and everything about them and the quality, they were absolutely fantastic. And like I said, I know me and him do have banter and stuff, and he'll banter me about Rochdale and I'll do it back with Gateshead. But I really do want them to do well because honestly, they deserve it. They really do. And I was actually listening into a Twitter space the other day, a National League one. And please correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, but it is looking good. Obviously, if you do end up getting promoted, they can actually get promoted as well this season. That's what I did here. So please let us know if I have got that wrong. But yeah, I'm so buzzing for them because the players they've got as well, they've got some really good like gems. And I thought at first, like recruitment at the beginning of the season, would they be able to pull some of the players in because of that, obviously overshadowing Erman from last season? But they've recruited really well, and like I said, just some of the football that they play, they deserve it. So long may it continue. But if yous go up, I want us to go up too. It's only fair. It is only fair. But if any other National League fans are in the chat and you do want to send in a match report or have your say on your team, please do it quickly because it's nearly at the end. Sam has put as well, to be fair, Eastleigh on a Saturday night is a right mob then. Even when I was younger. Stay clear.
I told you. I'm not wrong. No, mob. They can go out down now. You get them out of the playoffs. I'm not having them going up.
Luke has also put, I think it is for a whole month that we are near top of the league and top of the league for the first time. Oh, I love
Nice
that.
being top of the league, isn't it, Luke? Isn't it nice? Looking down on everybody.
He also put, we have had one of the best 4 years that the club has ever had. 1 FA trophy, 1 National League North title, and 2 Wembley appearances. I love that, right? Because, and I know we've obviously got Sam in here and he supports Manchester United in the Premier League, but there were so many fans, like as I were growing up and things, and even now from social media and Twitter, and they're like, why do you support a lower league team, blah, blah, blah. And I actually say to them, I've probably seen more, like as a lower league fan, I've seen relegations, promotions, playoff semi-final, playoff final. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you might have the players, you have so much, like you've won trophies and you've won this and won that, and there's so much money in the Premier League. But don't take anything away from us lower league fans because we also have them experiences as well. And yeah, I'm so happy for Gateshead. I like that. And he's also put, thank you for those kind words, Shah. It's looking good that we can get promoted. That's all I can say. Ooh, and the little eye emoji. Do you know something we don't know? But going back, obviously, to the results, Chris has mentioned Boston lost again at home versus Yeovil. Just not doing great, like Tamworth. Yeovil, to be fair.
Oh, Yeovil.
When we played Yeovil, they actually played some good stuff. And they've actually, when I've seen them and some of the results, they do play some good football. They've got some good players. So they've actually really surprised me because I never know what to expect, with the teams obviously coming up. But yeah, they've done some good stuff. York as well winning 2-0. They're a bit hit and miss at the minute, York. They'll pull off like some really good results and then they'll have like a stinker against someone they should beat. So they're quite inconsistent, but they're doing a lot better than they did obviously last season. They've recruited quite well. So I think they will be up there, York. Ebbsfleet again. They are bottom, aren't they? Bless them. They seem to be really struggling. I'm being nice. I'm trying to be nice. You're not a fan?
No. I hate that club.
There's not a single fan in this division. There's not a single team in this division that Ben's a fan of.
Oh, no, because some of them, Gateshead, I don't mind. They're all right. Maybe some other team near Manchester. I don't know. What are they called again?
Yeah. Oldham.
Exactly.
Oldham, yeah. Not the Latics.
Exactly. How did Oldham do, actually? Altrincham. They actually drew at Altrincham, didn't they? Mm-hmm. I don't really know what to expect. I think with Oldham at the minute, they are doing very well. And obviously, they've signed some good players and stuff, Oldham. But I think they kind of, when they do have a result like that, and I don't think it's a bad result, to be fair, like away at Altrincham, because I think Altrincham, even though they have lost a couple of players during the season, they are still quite a tough team to beat, Altrincham, and especially away. But I've seen on Twitter as well, Oldham fans are just kind of going to meltdown, and it's like, it's not a bad point, to be fair.
They're probably blaming Ben.
Yeah, it's Ben's fault.
It's got Ben's fault.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Your fault.
I shoot the messenger.
Wheelstone as well getting a point because they have really struggled, haven't they, so far this season. So they got a point, and yeah, I'm just trying to talk about anything else before I talk about Dale.
Please talk about that still.
Dale.
So honestly, it was probably the best I have seen Dale play in absolute years, and I am not being dramatic. I think the last time I saw them dominate a game so well and just play so good was under Keithhill, and that is going back quite a few years ago now. But honestly, we were absolutely brilliant from start to finish, and I didn't really know what to expect from this game because Woking won quite a good run, weren't they? I know obviously you mentioned in the friendly, didn't you, Ben, when you played them, they didn't look too great, but then obviously looking at the results and what they've pulled off so far, they seemed like quite a solid team. They still have the moments where they kind of do rely on that physicality, and they're quite a dirty team. I think they've always been quite like that in the style of football they have played Woking. So I was a bit worried about that, considering we have Harvey Gilmore out with a hamstring injury. We've got Ebanks Landell out. So we are getting a few injuries now. But honestly, the game itself, we were just phenomenal and the best we've seen us play. And I know a few Dale fans were getting frustrated with Cairo Mitchell because he'd not scored prior to that. But obviously he got 2 goals. His first one, it was there, right place at the right time. It was from a corner, and then obviously tapped it in. And then his last goal, everyone was like, Hendo's in the middle, pass to Hendo. And from the angle he was at, it was like at the side of the goal. And you think, Ian Henderson's there. Ian Henderson doesn't miss chances. Pass it to him. And I think that was a massive confidence boost for him scoring that first goal, because it was a very good goal. It's his second goal, and it was his last goal for us. And I'm sure all you guys have seen it because I did post it in a group chat. I don't know if anyone in the chat has seen it, but Aaron Henry, I know Graham will probably know him quite well because he is on loan from Charlton. But what a goal.
Absolute stunner.
That was such a good goal.
On his birthday as well. On his birthday. So it was his first league. It was his first league goal on his birthday as well. So it just made it that extra bit special. But what a player he is! I don't want to go on about him too much because I know from previous experience when I do talk about players who are on loan who are doing very well, they tend to disappear. So I'm not going to give him too much credit. I'll just give him credit for his goal. But honestly, what a team Jim McNulty is building, and they're very technically gifted as well. And I've mentioned it previously, and I know our fans, and don't get me wrong, I've been there before, I get very frustrated with the football at times because it is possession-based football, and it does seem at times like really slow, and then they're passing it back to the keeper, putting him under pressure and stuff. But it does seem a lot different from last season, and some fans might not agree with me yet. But I think we have obviously, position-wise, last season, we didn't have the finances, we didn't have the money, and we were kind of using players and not putting them in the right positions. Now I feel like the squad depth that we've got the ability, and we can change them around. We can rotate players and be very much like technically gifted in them areas now, which is fantastic. And I just feel like with Jim McNulty, as much as at times it can be very frustrating, it is his second season as manager. He's brought in these players, and just give him time, because we see it, and we are starting to see it now. And He's building something really special at the club. And I know a few fans as well was a bit like, we're giving him a 3-year contract. What's he done to deserve that? But I feel like it's a project now. Obviously, the new chairman, the new owner, they all believe in him. They all believe he's got the potential to do something special. We have got a 3-year plan as well, where they want to get promoted, like obviously by them 3 years. But if we can keep doing what we're doing, and we've got a lot of young players as well, if we can keep doing what we're doing, I don't see why we can't have a shot at this or why we can't get playoffs this year, because we are playing really well. I know at times we obviously beat Boston 3-0 away, the first game of the season. We've struggled scoring since then, apart from obviously the previous game where we scored 3 again. But defensively at the minute, we are absolutely solid. We've kept 4 clean sheets in a row. And that's one thing you probably all remember last season. I'd come on here week in, week out, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, our defence this, our defence that. And you think our captain's now injured. But Kyle Ferguson had his operation. He had quite a bad injury last season, missed a lot of the season. He's come in and replaced Ebanks Landell. He looks very good. Sam Beckwith as well. I cannot praise him like higher. Like, he's just, the signing he has and how calm and composed he is on the ball. And it just feels different this season. And as much as I know it can be frustrating at times, I'm just really hoping our fans like kind of have the patience, because I do feel like we could really build something special. And this squad is really likable as well. Like, they just seem like such a great bunch of lads and everything. And that's one thing I love about Jim McNulty. He's kind of trademarked that into these players now, and he wants that. And it's such a good atmosphere around the club. So, yeah, I'm hoping it's all good. But I've just sat on here right now, bigged us up, bigged our defence up, and we are the televised game at 5:30. So you just know it's Aldershot away. You just know after obviously us scoring 3, Aldershot did he score 4? I think it was 4 on Saturday in that 7-goal thriller. It'll either be a 0-0 or they will absolutely thrash us because I've bigged up our defence. So you have heard it here. But if anybody's got nothing to do, then please give us a watch, because honestly, we have got some really good players, and I just feel like we are building something really special. And it's good to, I don't want to say too much because obviously nothing's happened with Morecambe yet, and I don't want to like kind of rub it in, but it's nice to sit here now after everything that happened last season. That's why I'm hoping that you obviously get an owner coming in, because it's just nice to be like, there's no pressure now. And that's why I'm hoping Morecambe gets someone soon, and I don't want to sit here and say too much about that, but yeah. All good at the minute with Dale. All good. I'm happy. Yes, and Deitch has reminded me. Ryan East got man of the match, and he got man of the match our last home game as well. But it's someone Deitch knows he's very familiar with, because he was at Bradford. We did have him on loan early last season, and then we bought him. But what a player he is. And I just think in that midfield, him and Harvey Gilmore and the partnership they had last season were brilliant for us. And Harvey Gilmore's obviously injured at the minute, and I thought, oh, he's going to be a massive miss. But him and Aaron Henry have kind of took that on now. So, yeah. Graham's mentioned as well about Aaron Henry. Cracking potentially as, but yeah, I'm not going to say too much about him. You know what happened last time?
Yeah. Fuck off,
anxious. Yeah. But yeah, after all the tormenting, I didn't cut you off, Luke. I would not do that to you. So Gate said, are top of League One? Luke, I'm asking you a question. Who is top of League One? They do have 14 points. Second are Eastleigh on 13 points. Barnet are third on 12 points. Rochdale, yes, I think that's the highest we've ever been since I've been on this show. I actually sent in the group chat I have with like because I'm in all 3 group chats. I'm obviously in ours, I'm in the WSL one, and I'm in the Premier League one as well. I've put it to every group chat and said, I'm really sorry, you probably don't care, but I think this is the highest position we've ever been in since I've known you. So I'm going to milk it, because I'm used to talking about relegations. So yeah, we are 4th on 11 points. Forest Green are 5th on 11 points. York are 6th on 11 points. Aldershot are 7th on 10 points. So that has got the potential to be a very good game, Aldershot and Rochdale, but who knows? In the relegation zone, we have in 21st Tamworth on 5 points, Maidenhead are 22nd on 4 points, Boston are 23rd on 4 points. And I won't say bless them, because Ben will give me death stares. But Ebbsfleet are bottom on 1 point. And that is a football. And my throat is killing because I've just kind of gone on a full-on think about Rochdale. But Lucas said, Gateshead. And then he's put, we are top of the league, so we are top of the league. That's a football over and done with. We will have a lower league show, obviously, next week, but due to internationals, I don't think there's very much football to cover, but we do have National League games. I think we have League 2 as well, but I think the Championship and League 1, I don't think they are on.
No, we're definitely off. We've got another week of being top of the league.
But of course, thank you each and every person on here for talking football with me tonight. Kieran, where can everybody find you?
I'm gonna try and do the point. That wasn't too bad. That was all right. Kieran NCAFC on Twitter, and then I've kind of got links to bloody every kind of social media platform. Where it used to be whinge about Newport, but now it's being incredibly happy about Newport. So we're making a change.
Jen, where can everybody find you?
I'm on everything. It's just Jen Hunt _ on everything. You can come and join me either crying or being extremely happy on Saturday. So we'll see what happens there.
That's just me on a normal day because I'm an
Yeah.
emotional wreck.
Yeah.
Hormonal.
Yeah.
And where can everybody find you?
Beyond. There we are.
Smooth. You practiced.
Yeah. Yeah, and _Waters and at Howie Airport, and best of luck with Sunderland women for the first game on Sunday, and you'll find me down Birmingham. So the joys. Might see a £15 million J Stansfield in the crowd, but there we are. We'll see what happens.
Ben, where can everybody find you? And please be nice, everybody, or we are coming for you.
Yeah, we will. Don't worry.
Yeah. Ben Stones FC 1. Yeah, positive feedback, guys. Yeah, don't go at the end because, I've had enough of that this week. So, but yeah,
no tweeting about football clubs either, and how good their results are, Ben, because you'll get shit for it apparently.
I know.
No, yeah, well that's the thing, yeah. So and also, yeah, I'm basically going to become the new Kieran now for the time being. So if you want feel the pressure on the football team, I'm your man at the moment. So come find me.
You're not that miserable, Ben.
Not yet.
No, you're not quite there. No. Another 4 months of straight losing, you'll get you there.
And of course, I don't know if anybody does, but if you do want to follow me, I am SharXRAFC. That is on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. My Her Game 2 stuff is Rochdale HGT. But as Sam mentioned before, we are very, very close to hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thanks to all you lovely lot that do subscribe to us already. Honestly, it means so much. But if you do know anyone or keep promoting it, please, please, please do, because honestly, the hard work people put in as well, especially Sam, behind the scenes. I know obviously we come on here and we talk about football and stuff, but the amount of work Sam does behind the scenes, like the graphics, the content, the clipping, the TikToks, all of that is down to Sam. And yeah, it's just brilliant. So round of applause to Sam because he's our hero. Obviously, there's Josh as well. And Josh's wife, she does all the pictures of us all, which you can see here. I mean, how good are they? Look at all of
I
our faces. And we've got a list of people to add as well. We need Ben and we need Jen adding to this collection. Rhymed. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. But we are the Absolute Football Podcast, and we are on Twitter as Absolute Ball Pod, YouTube, please subscribe, and Twitch as Absolute Football Podcast. On TikTok, we are Absolute Football Pod. On Instagram and Threads, we are Absolute Football Podcast _. On Facebook, we have an Absolute Football Podcast. On Mondays is our usual Premier League and European show. I'm not too sure what it'll be this week, obviously, because there's no Premier League football. It could be international. Who knows? Wednesdays is everything about women's football. They cover so many leagues. They cover everything. And honestly, the team are just absolutely phenomenal. Their knowledge in everything of the game, they are absolutely brilliant. And Thursdays, you can catch us. We are absolutely lower league, and we cover the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, National League North and South, and any other cup games that is going on. We just like covering football and speaking about it. And you can catch all of our shows at 8:30. But as always, thank you to each and every person who does come in the chat. Honestly, it wouldn't be the show that it is today. Without you all make it. We love hearing off you. We all love hearing about your football teams, how they're doing. Sam as well, bless him. Says that he loves us all. But yeah, thank you to each and every person that has tuned in tonight, and hope you all have a lovely weekend. Bye, everybody.